into Game Time this Thursday at 7 p.m. for the Ford Game of the Week. Union versus Edmond North.
Bouncy ball. Look, it's almost alive.
Advertising used to be simple. Make an ad, put it on TV, get results. Today, with all the new viewing options, it's a lot more complex. At Cox Media, we make the complex simple. With precise targeting, transparency, and automation, we connect advertisers to audiences. Anyone, anywhere, on any screen. Advertising simplified. Contact Cox.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to Game Time on YurView. From Warwick, Rhode Island, it doesn't get any better than this in Rhode Island high school football. Tonight, Bishop Hendricken against LaSalle Academy. Hi, Frank Carpano, along with Mike Rubin for the play-by-play of tonight's game. The fans in the stands 2 hours before kickoff, an incredible atmosphere.
Oh, it's wonderful. I mean, you would think you were on ESPN Game Day. That's how electric it is here. We were talking to the principal a little while ago. I mean, it is really, Frank, the kind of atmosphere, the electricity so thick you could cut it with a knife.
Hendricken is a 7-time state champion. Both are in the highest division of Rhode Island high school football, but in different divisions, so this one really doesn't count for seeding when it comes to the Super Bowl at the end of the year, but LaSalle probably has its best chance of stealing a state championship at the end of this year.
Absolutely, and you know, these two teams have matched up over the last few years later in the year, so getting each other early in the season when, you know, you conceivably could see each other in the playoffs is something I think both coaches would prefer. You circle those games on the calendar. It's nice when you get it early.
LaSalle returns a lot of veterans, and I know that you wanted to talk about one in particular.
Yeah, Leroy D'Oliveira, one of that three-headed monster on offense, had a great game last week against Monsignor Farrell, a New York team, and you know, a lot of speed, going to have to work through the line against a Bishop Hendricken team that is still sorting itself out defensively after losing a game last week for the first time in a while. But you know, D'Oliveira is quick, he's athletic, and he's one of the guys that the Rams are going to need to carry.
Well, Bishop Hendricken's calling card is always their aggressiveness and their strength. They're big guys, and none bigger than the guy you're going to talk about.
Oh my goodness, Xavier Truss is a big boy, a junior in high school that is already standing 6'7", 300+ pounds. In some high schools, that's the combined line. So here's a guy who can win the battle of the trenches, open up the holes for the Hawks, really establish the ground game, and give their sophomore quarterback some time to pass.
Well, it's going to be a good one. Bishop Hendricken versus LaSalle Academy here in Warwick, Rhode Island. We'll have the kickoff coming up next. You're watching Game Time on YurView. We'll be right back.
Rhode Island's #1 online rated Volkswagen dealer is now Rhode Island's fastest growing automotive group. Introducing Speedcraft Nissan and Speedcraft Acura. Conveniently located on Route 2 just off Exit 8. It's the same great service you've come to expect, now with an even wider selection. More cars, more SUVs, and now trucks and commercial vehicles. All with the power of Speedcraft standing behind every vehicle we sell. Come in for a test drive today at any of our 3 locations or visit us online at speedcraft.com.
I'm John Rook, the voice of your Providence College Friars men's basketball team. It's that time of year again. And there's nothing like a sold-out crowd at the Dunkin' Donuts Center. One thing I've learned calling Friar basketball over the years is that anything can happen on game day. Legends have played on this court, creating memories that have lasted a lifetime. This upcoming season, it's time to make more. This is Friartown.
Craft, locally owned and operated. Rhode Island's fastest growing automotive group is Speedcraft. Check out YurView.com for live stream games from some of the best high school teams in the country all fall long.
tell me, point to the number for the kicker if you see it. And welcome back to Warwick, Rhode Island. Hendricken versus LaSalle. We're here in Warwick, about 15 minutes outside of the capital city of Providence, Rhode Island. And it doesn't get any bigger than this in Rhode Island high school football. We have tonight the 7-time defending state champion Hendricken Hawks there in the green with the gold helmets. And their biggest competitor in the top division of Rhode Island high school football, LaSalle Academy from Providence. They are wearing the white jerseys with the maroon helmets and maroon pants. Frank Carpano along with Mike Rubin, and tell you what, these stands here, they filled up very early this afternoon. Kids got out of school about 2 o'clock and they came over. They did a little bit of tailgating and we're here early.
And I don't have as good a parking place as you, Frank. I think I'm parked somewhere in Johnston.
Well, I tell you what, they usually average about 1,000 fans here for a typical Hendricken game, but Hendricken LaSalle, they're expecting more than 2,000. And they have employed the use of a trolley to bring people from satellite parking lots. Cole Peterson set to kick it off. LaSalle winning the toss. And here we go. Low kick to the 30 and right up the middle and over the 35 and gang tackled at the 37-yard line, where the LaSalle Rams will take over. 1st and 10, first on offense here this evening. A beautiful night for high school football in what is really the first real Friday night of high school football here in Rhode Island. Both teams playing non-conference games with out-of-state opponents last week.
Yeah, the tradition has been you only have so many opponents in the state of Rhode Island, so you venture out to New York State, took on a couple of very good opponents. And there's the quarterback of the Rams, Andrew Wright, a week ago, 16-27, 186 yards passing for the field general of the maroon and white.
Wright looking to the sideline and to head coach Jeff Marcone from the shotgun here on 1st and 10 from the 37-yard line. And right up the middle goes Leroy DeOliveira. You're going to be hearing his name quite a bit here tonight. Last season, 1,235 yards rushing for DeOliveira and 10 touchdowns. Second down and 8 now. Again, working from the shotgun, Andrew Wright. Man in motion, right, with a handoff, and again up the middle goes DeOliveira. Third down now for the Rams. And what do you see are the keys tonight for the Rams to come away victorious?
Well, obviously we mentioned the three-headed monster, but this is an emotional game. You know, you're taking on a team that's won 7 straight Super Bowls, so you have to manage your emotion. You've got, we mentioned DeOliveira, quarterback Andrew Wright, also an upperclassman. Rely on that experience, and you have skill guys who have that experience, and talented ball players. So rely on them. Let them win the game. Unfortunately, for LaSalle, I believe a holding call on that last play.
So that'll back them up about 5 yards. And now it's going to be third down and about 12 for a first down as we're just getting underway here. Very exciting atmosphere. LaSalle, their fans traveling very well, the 15 minutes from Providence to get here tonight. And the first pass of the game is thrown incomplete. Andrew Wright, who's used to throwing that ball, 1,300 yards in the air passing last year for Wright, who is a senior, and 14 of those went for touchdowns. So now fourth down, and LaSalle will be forced to kick it away.
Well, it's a good stand for Hendricken's defense, exactly what they needed to get their mojo going. A quick three and out. And apparently it was holding, not false start the play before.
And a fair catch called for by number 11, Angel Sanchez. And we'll get a chance to see the Hendricken Hawks for the first time here this evening on offense. The Hawks are christening a brand new field here tonight, brand new surface. They were one of the first in Rhode Island to have the artificial turf about 11 years ago. And this past summer, they put in a new surface and a brand new digital scoreboard, which is pretty fancy looking. Big ceremony to start the evening here. And they will start 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line. For the Hawks, a sophomore, Tom Camella at quarterback here. And the handoff on first down, and breaking one and heading for a big game is Devin Rivett. Jamari Jenkins on the stop for the Rams, and a pickup of 8 yards brings up second down.
Good burst of speed, and that's what Hendricken needs. You know, they're coming off of a loss. They have a young quarterback. So with that, you're trying to find your identity, especially when you have experience. We just saw Rivett. He can carry the ball. He's got a lot of speed. So if they can keep opening up holes for him, control the ball, and keep this LaSalle offense off the field, the Hawks will be in good shape.
Second down and 2 for the Hawks here in the first quarter of this game. And another handoff up the middle, and that's going to be good enough for first down yardage for the Hawks. Mike just powering the game on the ground here.
Yeah, you see the hole opened up right over center. Good job by the guards to open up that defensive line, and plenty of room for Rivett. Picks up 4, and first down Hawks. And that's exactly what you want from a running back, especially when you have that sophomore quarterback. Use the running game to start controlling tempo, keep this defensive line honest, and the next thing you know, the passing lanes will open up. That was movement.
So on first down, the penalty flags fly here. Our referee tonight is Rich Morissette.
Oh, it's going to go against the defense, so that's problematic for, you know, LaSalle can ill afford to give this Hendricken team free yards. They've got to minimize their mistakes, particularly defensively. 1st and 5, you've got yourself a very short first down opportunity, and this is where Hendricken might decide to throw the football a little bit.
Well, there were 5 candidates for the starting quarterback position to start practice here this season. Coach Keith Croft settling on the sophomore Tom Camella. From the shotgun now, 1st and 5.
Oh, he's got space.
Big space there. A big gainer and another first down for the Hawks. It was the quarterback Camella.
And I think the defense bid on this on the fake on the end around, and they were watching 11, and off to the left side, off tackle went Camella, got some good blocking downfield, big gain, and they're already almost on the verge of entering LaSalle territory. Big gain of about 13, 14 yards.
The ball right at midfield as we have first down and 10 for the Hawks. And the officials blowing the whistle here. I believe they are straightening out one of the players' uniforms, and we will continue.
Oh, what a push on the line.
And what a big run here.
Oh, what a block.
Devin Rivett down the sideline, inside the 20, and knocked out of bounds. The senior Rivett with a big gain on that play.
Yeah, a significant gain. He got a little shaken up at the tail end. Watch this hole. Bang, there's one block. But watch the wide receiver come back to the play right there. What a block, a clean block at that. Off goes Rivett. He's off to the races. Good job by LaSalle to wrap him up at that driving in the end of that play. Rivett's a little shaken up. A gain of about 33, 34 yards on the play.
But not for defender Ethan Enos. That would have been a touchdown there. So now deep in LaSalle territory, the Hendricken Hawks. But we have a flag on the play.
Yeah, I think I think they're calling it a late hit, and they drove Rivett into the ground. You know, we've seen that in the NFL where, you know, if the play is out of bounds and you're continuing the momentum, at a certain point you have to release. And, you know, sometimes in the heat of the moment you don't hear the whistles. You're just thinking, I got to tackle. And yeah, and they're saying, yeah, you got personal fouls offsetting. I just think we were recapping the play, and I think we talked about managing the emotion. That might erase that gain.
It does. They're bringing the ball back.
And I think that's what Keith Croft is arguing on the LaSalle, on the Bishop Hendricken side, Frank, was that the extracurriculars happened after the play. Should they have been dead ball fouls? And now they're calling sideline warnings. Let's get a look. There's Rivett. He's off to the races. There's the blocking. And again, credit the Hendricken Hawks. And there's another clean block there. And There was a flag thrown actually during the run. So we saw the hanky go off the corner of your screen. So it appears there was a personal foul on the drive, but there was also I think a sideline violation on the Hawks.
All right, back to midfield now, 1st and 10, and the handoff. And it's going to be Ethan Worster. Worster into LaSalle territory. Pickup of about 5 yards on the play. Correction, that was actually Israel Emmanuel, the running back for the Hendricken Hawks. And they're going to give him about 7 yards on that play. So it'll be 2nd down and 3 for Hendricken here.
Emmanuel checks off. Let's see if Rivet's back on. It appears so. He's a little shaken up, and sometimes the way he came off, maybe a contact lens or something, but he seems to be all right. You know he wants the ball back.
All right, from the shotgun now. And the quarterback's going to keep it himself, and he picks up 1st down yardage. Still wheeling and dealing and down to the 35-yard line. Tom Camella picking up 1st down yardage for the Hendricken Hawks.
Now this is a good read by Camella. He takes the snap. There's the fake again on the end around, and he's got that hole. Again, the tackles and the guards for this Bishop Hendricken team, they have come to play. They're giving this backfield a lot of room to operate.
As you can see, they got a lot of size there. Young man that we talked about at the beginning of the game, number 77, Xavier Truss. Big boy, 6'4", over 300 pounds.
6'5", 6'8". I mean, he's all of that.
Yeah.
You know, in college, they sometimes, they have what they call the sports info 6'7". He's all of that.
I have more game time coming up on YurView right after this.
Rhode Island's #1 online rated Volkswagen dealer is now Rhode Island's fastest growing automotive group. Introducing Speedcraft Nissan and Speedcraft Acura. Conveniently located on Route 2 just off Exit 8. It's the same great service you've come to expect, now with an even wider selection. More cars, more SUVs, and now trucks and commercial vehicles. All with the power of Speedcraft standing behind every vehicle we sell. Come in for a test drive today at any of our 3 locations or visit us online at speedcraft.com.
Step in here, hot pants.
The wait is over. Are y'all ready to see your fixer-upper?
Oh! You slayed it!
Whoa!
You killed it!
This is amazing.
Yes!
Fixer-upper, Tuesday night at 9, only on HGTV.
Brought to you locally by Pella. Perfectly beautiful. Testing beyond requirements with style beyond ordinary. Visit Pella.com, an Energy Star partner since 1999.
So LaSalle's defense coming up with a big play there. Jamari Jenkins with a stop.
And chalk that one up a little bit to inexperience. The option is all about timing. And you see when Camella came around the end, the defense did a good job of shying off to that tight end spot. The blockers never came. He saw a sea of white in front of him, went for the pitch. The hole never opened. And it's the first loss of yardage for the Hawks so far. We'll see how they respond.
So 2nd down and about 13. The ball spotted on the LaSalle 38-yard line, again from the shotgun. Man in motion. And the handoff goes to Rivet. Rivet around the end and then turns it upfield and is stopped inside of the 30-yard line to the 28-yard line. William Leonardo, cornerback, coming up to make that stop for LaSalle.
Now you watch him come in motion. He does that little stutter step to get his way all the way around. And there really wasn't a whole heck of a lot that Sebastian Masiello could do for LaSalle. He was in a foot race with just a pure athlete. Couldn't catch him. But it brings up 3rd down conversion for Hendricken. Certainly 3rd and makeable at 3rd and 4. And there's another flag on the play.
Another flag on the far side of the field. They're going to walk off some more yardage in Hendricken's favor. And we'll spot the ball at the 20-yard line. So another 1st down for the Hawks here. 7-time defending state champions. Tonight taking on the team that they faced in the last 3 of those state champions, their biggest in-state rival, LaSalle Academy.
Now LaSalle, we mentioned they got to manage the emotion. 4 penalties in half a quarter. That's not going to make your coaching staff too happy. And that's 5.
There you go. So they'll walk off another 5 yards for Hendricken. The Hawks came into this season having lost 24 seniors, Mike. So There was many who believed that, this could be the year that LaSalle, who returns a lot of veterans, could unseat the 7-time defending state champions. But I tell you what, it doesn't look like Hendricken's ready to relinquish that state crown with the way they're playing so far here tonight.
No, and LaSalle's going to stop shooting themselves in the foot. This is the third time, I think, in this drive that it's been, first and second down in short yardage because of a LaSalle miscue. Penalties aren't helping their cause at all.
Ball on the 15-yard line, 1st and 5. And the handoff goes to Rhode. He turns it upfield and is stopped at the 5-yard line. So the Hawks getting a little bit closer to pay dirt here. Again, Jamari Jenkins making the stop for the Rams.
Watch Aiden Corcoran, the guard, right there. He's got 2 guys locked up, just enough to get Rivet through. And we talked about the battle of the trenches, and this running game of the Hawks is starting to abuse LaSalle a little bit. It's about an 80-yard drive that they're on the verge of completing as they go 1st and goal from the 5, and it's been all ground and pound the whole way down the field for the Golden Green.
Miller from the shotgun. Again, the handoff, and right into the end zone goes Israel Emmanuel. Touchdown, Hendricken.
Boy, you could have driven one of those flood auto trucks through that hole. My goodness. They go right behind the big fella Truss off to the left side off tackle. Big old hole. Look at this right there. I mean, Frank, you or I could have run through that hole.
Maybe you, but not me. But that's a great drive there for the Hendricken Hawks for the first score of the evening.
You're not giving yourself enough credit.
Yeah.
You're fleet of foot. I've seen it. Well, if there's something Bishop Hendricken needed to get going after a loss a week ago, boy, has their team answered the bell as the kick is up, and the kick is good.
So Cole Peterson adds an extra point. 7-0 Hendricken leading LaSalle here in the first quarter. More Game Time on YurView coming up right after this.
Rhode Island's #1 online rated Volkswagen dealer is now Rhode Island's fastest growing automotive group. Introducing Speedcraft Nissan and Speedcraft Acura. Conveniently located on Route 2 just off Exit 8. It's the same great service you've come to expect, now with an even wider selection. More cars, more SUVs, and now trucks and commercial vehicles. All with the power of Speedcraft standing behind every vehicle we sell. Come in for a test drive today at any of our 3 locations or visit us online at speedcraft.com.
All right, welcome back. Hendricken has struck first. They lead LaSalle 7-0 here with 5:31 to go in the first quarter. And Hendricken set to kick this one off. Cole Peterson taking in the ball at the 15. Here come the Rams trying to find an opening. And down the left field sideline goes number 15, Jelon O'Connor, the junior, picking up some good yardage on the return. And we'll get to see the LaSalle offense on the field for the second time this evening.
And if you're LaSalle, watch what you needed. There's a couple of very nice blocks by LaSalle, and you get the impression that if you don't have your head on a swivel in this game, it doesn't matter who you are. You're going to get put under on a block, or you're going to get put under with your camera. My goodness, the heat was coming.
Well, usually you ask 2 questions when that happens. One is to the photographer, are you okay? And the second is, did you get the shot?
So you guys don't worry. We don't worry about the camera.
And the camera, but mostly the cameraman. On first down, here's a pass, and a penalty flag flies as Marquise Nickerson reels in the pass from Andrew Wright, but we'll have to see what the officials have called here. And that will go against LaSalle.
I think it's an ineligible man downfield on the Rams. Nickerson's wondering, what did I do? It wasn't on him. It was on one of the linemen who released and started heading downfield before the ball was released. And, a 5-yard penalty. And again, that's
shooting themselves in the foot.
A lot, you get positive yardage on first down. The last thing you need if you're the Rams is to have it negated.
So it brings the ball back to the LaSalle 40-yard line. 1st and 15 now as Andrew Wright brings his team to the line of scrimmage. Wright drops back, wants to throw, and the pass completes. That's Nickerson again, and Nickerson gets back to the original line of scrimmage and maybe picks up a yard. So a pickup of 6 yards for the Rams. But another flag on the field.
And that's a personal foul, contact to the head for against Bishop Hendricken. Oh no, they waved it back. It's against LaSalle. The initial call was in the side of Hendricken. Then the referee immediately called it back, and that's a 15-yarder.
Wow. Well, Hendricken 1 step forward, 3 steps back. LaSalle 1 step forward, 3 steps back. And it's going to be 1st and 25 for them now as the ball pushed back to about the 33-yard line. Wright almost fumbles the snap, and he's going to take it himself up the right sideline and pushed out of bounds just about the 42-yard line. So sensing that was a bit of a broken play as the snap was bobbled a little bit before the quarterback Wright reeled it in. But, you know, he's used to running with the ball. 477 yards rushing last year for the senior quarterback.
Yeah, and that was a heady play. You know, when you get that low snap and it's a broken play, you know, immediately, as they say, abort the mission and do something with the play. He did just that. And again, LaSalle needs to get something going. They got to stay mentally strong.
All right, 2nd and 15 from their own 39-yard line. Man in motion. Here's Wright looking left, avoiding the rush, still looking downfield, lets it go, and that ball is incomplete.
Bounced. Yeah, I thought it bounced.
Good coverage on that play by the Hendricken Hawks.
Yeah, good job by Elijah Perry getting back to that football, but, you know, unfortunately, you'll see, you know, he walks off to his right, keeps the play alive, heaves it downfield, and you're going to see that ball just does hit the ground. He's unable to cradle it. And a bunch of officials in green helping the guys in stripes make that call.
3rd down and 15 now. Long way to go for the Rams, who have yet to have a 1st down in this game. And caught in the backfield, but trying to wiggle his way out is Leroy de Oliveira, but he goes nowhere, and a loss of about 4 yards on the play. So 4th down coming up here for the Rams, who are going to try and figure things out. You know, offensively, they've got the veterans in there. You know, Leroy de Oliveira is a senior, over 1,200 yards rushing last year. The quarterback leading the offense, Andrew Wright, over 1,300 yards passing, and is also good at running the football. But they have been unable to get anything going here tonight.
Well, I'll tell you, Frank, I mean, that drive started promising. They had the complete pass, but then the 2 penalties erased them pretty quickly. It's a nice punt, though. See if they can get things on track defensively. As, again, Hendricken's going to take over 1st and 10, deep in their own territory, but that didn't really faze them all that much on that last drive. They went 80 yards in 9 plays and put 7 points on the board.
Angel Sanchez was the one who called for a fair catch, then let it bounce, picked up a couple of extra yards for the LaSalle Rams, and now we'll get to see the Hendricken offense once again. They drove down the field last time, and I don't think they had a pass in that drive, did they, Mike?
No, they went 80 yards all on the ground, 5 carries for Rivet, a couple for the quarterback, Camella, and then, of course, it was the touchdown run to finish it from Emmanuel, who also had another carry earlier in the carry. 9 plays, 80 yards. They got helped by a couple penalties as well.
Here's a snap, and on 1st down, and dropped there for a loss was Emmanuel. So the LaSalle defense stepping up there, and a loss of 2 on the play brings up 2nd down.
Yeah, good penetration by Evan Alarcon coming off the end. Just got a good jump, and you know they're trying to time that. They're trying to time the snap. They're trying to jump in early. We saw that. It's high risk, high reward. I mean, obviously there's the reward, but twice they were flagged off sides. The first time they were on defense were the Rams.
2nd down and 12. The ball on the Hendricken 16-yard line over on the left hash mark. And Camella, with a man in motion, calls the signals, drops back to pass. The first pass of the game is complete. And up over the 20-yard line to the 22-yard line is James Mason. Correction, Richard McNeil was on the stop there.
You know, and this is deceptively, this juncture of the game, Frank, this is deceptively a big play. I mean, people would say, it's a 7-0 game. There's a couple minutes left in the first quarter. But after the extremely long drive by the Hawks in which they controlled the ball for 5 minutes, 4 or 5 minutes, and then the quick out by the LaSalle offense, this is a stand that the LaSalle defense has to make. They got to get this Hawk offense off the field and off the field quickly. 3rd and 8 is a big conversion for the young quarterback.
Camella, the handoff, and around the left side and turning it upfield is Emmanuel, and he picks up first down yardage. So another first down for the Hendricken Hawks here.
Now go back to your bread and butter if you're Hendricken. Nice call, play call. And again, the offensive line just doing what it does best. Look at this little burst of speed. Again, there's the hole. Once they get through that first defender or so, there's really not a lot that LaSalle could do. You saw Ethan Ennis kind of chasing up, trying to catch up with Emmanuel, and not a whole lot for LaSalle and their defense to do as Emmanuel with a nice run.
First down for the Hawks, up to their own 35-yard line. Camella is going to take it himself and up the left side, and there he goes for first down yardage and more, and he gets over midfield and then steps out of bounds at about the LaSalle 47-yard line. So a nice pickup there for the sophomore quarterback for the Hawks.
And if you're Keith Croft, you have to be very pleased with what you're seeing out of your offense here. 3 different weapons, little deke off to the left, and there's no white jerseys. You know, the only player who's flashing out there was Jamari Jenkins of the Rams, and he'd been tied up pretty nicely by Angel Santana of Hendricken. So, you know, this is where, again, they're going back to their bread and butter. They're controlling the line of scrimmage, and there really isn't a whole heck of a lot Bishop Hendricken can do. LaSalle could do 13 yards a carry.
And some movement in the line, and the yellow flags fly, and we'll see who moved first and which way the penalty is going to go here. Penalties have been the domain of LaSalle so far, but this one's going to go against Hendricken, and that'll push him back 5 yards.
And maybe got a little antsy, a little bit of energy after a couple of big gains. They went almost 30 yards in 2 plays on the ground. The last 2 did the Hawks. And what's interesting here, Frank, is they started on the 18-yard line, I think, and they've got it all the way up to midfield pretty much, and they haven't given the ball to Rivet really at all. It's called a balanced attack.
You're right. A lot of weapons. A relatively young team for Hendricken, at least compared to last year's team, and it looks like we're going to have a timeout here. Timeout called by Hendricken. They lead it here with a little less than a minute to go, and leading it by a score of 7-0.
Well, again, you're trying to manage the game. I mean, you're trying to, if you're Bishop Hendricken, you know you've got an opportunity here to keep that offensive line fresh, keep your players moving. And, you know, for Keith Croft, this game is about a statement. You know, some people, as you mentioned, would indicate, you know, you've graduated a ton. Maybe this is an opportunity for LaSalle to come in and score an update. More importantly, from a mental standpoint, they hadn't lost a game in a while. Yeah. So how you respond to losses actually teaches you more about your club than anything. And they're coming off a lot. Yes, it was an out-of-state loss, but so far they have answered the bell in a big way. You got to admire the focus of this Hawk club.
Well, I got a stat for you. The Hawks have won 64 of 70 Division I Interscholastic League games here in Rhode Island. So they have dominated. As we take a look at Keith Croft, who's been here a decade and has really been racking up the state championships. We mentioned that he lost quite a few players, 24 seniors from last year's championship team, including 6 first-team All-Staters and some big names that we'll be telling you about over the course of the evening here. But the offense back to the line of scrimmage here. First down and 15 for the Hawks on their own 45-yard line. Camella wants to throw it, and he's got a receiver, and that's Angel Sanchez. Sanchez down the 40, 35, 30, and he's going to go all the way. Touchdown, Hawks.
55 yards to pay dirt. And if you are Bishop Hendricken, you could not have asked for a better start. It's a well-designed play, Frank. Really nicely done at the line of scrimmage. Camella sold it all the way. And because the running game has been so devastating, he keeps them honest. Everybody follows a manual. Just a little dump off. And look at, there's 6 guys behind the football. So once he gets past that safety, he's off and running. And nobody's catching him. Maybe the back judge. Look at that.
So the extra point, Cole Peterson's going to line it up here to tack on the 14th point for the Hendricken Hawks here in the first quarter. I tell you, the guy who's trying to do it all out there for LaSalle is Ethan Enos at number 17 in the white jersey. Has been all over the field trying to do his best to stop the drive of the Hendricken Hawks.
Well, this Hendricken fan base that was so loud coming in, as that one is just off its mark. Boy, are they energized. And you know, for LaSalle, it comes down to, you know, some mental mistakes, but it also comes down to pick your poison. You do a good job defending the run. Who's expecting Hendricken to beat them with a pass? And that's exactly what happened. And, you know, it wasn't like you had to heave the ball down very far. It was, what, a 55-yard pass, and about 52 of them came after the catch. And again, you'll see it. There's the play action. Everybody bites. That's what happens when you have a good running game. It's right out of the Bill Wall school of the West Coast offense. And then, I mean, right there. I mean, once he got to the 30-yard line, nobody was touching him. It was a gain of 12 or 13. There was no tackle in that initial surge. It's a 55-yard touchdown.
All right, LaSalle's going to try and turn things around here as we come down to the final seconds of the first quarter, and they find themselves down 13-0. Peterson with a kickoff. Reeled in up the sideline and bounced out of bounds. Nowhere to go for Jolan O'Connor. And LaSalle will try once again here. They have yet to collect a first down here in the first quarter. They pretty much shot themselves in the foot with so many penalties that have negated some decent plays. And that's the end of the first quarter. So the story here is the 7-time defending state champions leading LaSalle by a score of 13-0. More of the Hendricken-LaSalle game coming your way right after this.
Rhode Island's #1 online rated Volkswagen dealer is now Rhode Island's fastest growing automotive group. Introducing Speedcraft Nissan and Speedcraft Acura. Conveniently located on Route 2 just off Exit 8. It's the same great service you've come to expect, now with an even wider selection. More cars, more SUVs, and now trucks and commercial vehicles. All with the power of Speedcraft standing behind every vehicle we sell. Come in for a test drive today at any of our 3 locations or visit us online at speedcraft.com.
Bishop Hendricken High School invites you to learn about our commitment to excellence.
Visit Hendricken.
In the classroom, in the arts, on the playing field.
Visit Hendricken.
Our rich tradition of Catholic education provides extraordinary opportunities for young men of intellect, character, and faith. At Bishop Hendricken, the learning environment enables all students to reach their full potential. Come to our open house. Learn about our legacy.
That's really what they needed. And, you know, the quarterback keeper is able to get around the edge, pick up some positive yardage. And, you know, LaSalle's going to realize in a 13-0 game, yes, your defense hasn't helped you out, but you're not going to get it all back quickly.
Another run here and a pickup of 5 yards before the pushback. So the Rams, I think, are energized here to start the second quarter. You know what, guys? Let's forget about what happened in the first quarter and let's move on as Jake Ribeiro reels in the pass from Andrew Wright to pick up 5 yards.
Well, there's that Hendricken section, and very excited.
There you can see off in the distance there the LaSalle kids. They travel very well to this game. All right, another pass out in the flats, completed. And that looks like it's going to be good enough for first down yardage as the pass went to Richard McNeil. So another first down, the second of this drive for the LaSalle Rams.
Yeah, and this is what LaSalle is going to have to do. They're not going to be able to do anything really in between the tackles, I think, is the decision. So let's thin out this defense. Let's try and get these quick hits, and let's start moving the football. No penalties.
All right, back to pass again, and being chased out of the pocket. Wrights looking downfield and just out of the reach of Richard McNeil. That would have gone for a big gainer if he had caught it, but incomplete.
Now 2nd and 10. Stay within yourself for the Hendricken defense. It's a 13-0 game. You start getting comfortable. You mentioned youth. You start looking at the scoreboard. You feel the energy. You're still going to stay focused on every single play, one play at a time. 13-0 in the beginning of the second quarter doesn't really mean a whole lot until the scoreboard reads all zeros and there's a 4.
LaSalle in Hendricken territory, going to go with a run on 2nd down and goes nowhere on this one. So 3rd down now and 10 for the LaSalle Rams, who had something going here to start this drive. Big play here for the Rams if they want to keep the drive going. Man in motion, right? Okay. The handoff and dropped for a big loss is Richard McNeil. And a big defensive stop for Hendricken. Mason Carr with a stop, and LaSalle will be forced to kick it away. Remington Blue, nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
Former Hendricken Hawks. And you graduated in what year?
I graduated in 2014.
Super Bowl MVP, what year or years?
13 and 12 actually,
Yeah.
2-time.
And I know that coming back to these games is really a big thing for the alumni. You see a lot of people from your class, and I'm sure a lot of other classes gathered to the field here tonight.
Oh, definitely. It's great to be back. It's great to be in this atmosphere again. It definitely brings back a lot of memories. And
feel like pulling on a pair of shoulder pads and a helmet?
Believe it or not, I do. I can picture myself putting the helmet on and getting out there and tearing it up.
So what do you think of the atmosphere here tonight? I mean, you were on that sideline 4 times against LaSalle. What's it like?
It can be a little nerve-wracking, you know. Honestly, this has grown a lot. There's a lot of people here. The new scoreboard's phenomenal. They got trucks over there. This is getting pretty amped, you know. The amount that this has grown is super cool. It's getting a lot of exposure to our guys out there, and to be out there, being a part of it, you know, back in the day, you know, it was a really great experience, you know.
Well, on 2nd down and 6, Hendricken driving once again. What do you think of your team's performance so far in this game?
So far, I'm honestly really impressed that a kid number 11 there, he had a super good run, you know, and Mr. Brennan over there was telling me that he's just a sophomore, and I was like, oh, smokes, you know, he was tearing it up.
Well, listen, it's great to see you. Best of luck. What are you doing now?
I'm a senior at Springfield College in Massachusetts. So
best of luck.
Thank you.
Thanks. All right, and we have another one of a former Hawk, Mike Maloof, former quarterback. How are you?
Good. How are you today?
Nice to see you. Thanks for joining us.
Of course. Glad to be here.
Are you calling plays in your head now as you watch this offense out here?
No, I'm letting them stick with it. They're doing a good job.
Yeah. Can you kind of guess what's coming up next here?
No.
It's first down. You're driving deep in LaSalle territory, and it looks like they're going to call a timeout. Hendricken will be calling a timeout here. So what years did you play here?
I'm sorry?
What years did you play here?
I played here. I graduated in 2011, so I was 2007 through 2010 football seasons.
And did you win the Super Bowl every one of those years?
No, we did not. We were the first team. 2010 team was the first to win in this streak.
And you were MVP of one of the Super Bowls you were in. Which one was that?
2010.
What does the LaSalle rivalry mean to you as a former member of the Hendricken Hawks?
Oh, everything. Ram Week was everything when we played here. It still is. I was getting goosebumps on my way over here. I remember, you know, coming over here, I was with my mom and my grandma. We were kind of getting the feeling of this is what it was like on the other side when you're not, you know, suiting up. You're going to the game to watch your team play them.
What is it about Hendricken that has helped them win 7 state championships in a row?
I think it's the infrastructure. I mean, all the way from the freshman team up, they really, the athletic department has done a great job of really investing in the athletes and making sure that, you know, Coach Croft does a great job. Coach P, Coach Green, I mean, they've kept the staff together, and they're all great at what they do. And I remember from my class, and I know for the classes below me, there was a lot of camaraderie, and you know, we were out here in the winter and in the spring getting ready.
And here's a big pickup here for the Hawks, and it looks like they're going to be moving the stakes. Another first down as Hendricken driving for another touchdown here in the second quarter, leading 13-0. We'll take a look here. Call this one here.
It's a nice cut right there. They're really quick, honestly. I mean, we had a lot of good running backs, but they're a lot quicker than I was, for sure. I don't know if my teammates would agree that they're quicker than them, though.
What year were you when you took over quarterbacking duties for the Hawks?
My senior year, 2010.
So can you comment a little bit on the poise that this sophomore quarterback has out here tonight for the Hawks?
So far, so good. I mean, when you're a sophomore and you're under center, especially in this game, I actually got a chance to take a few snaps as a sophomore. It's very nerve-wracking.
Oh, fumble. And recovered by the Hawks, but they're going to have a loss of about 7 or 8 yards on the play. What happened there?
I was just a mix-up between the center and on the snap there, but that's all right. I mean, at the end of the day, they got to trust one another. They're going to be fine on the next play here.
Well, last year they played this game towards the end of the season, and I believe the week after Hendricken played LaSalle, the playoffs began.
Right.
This is being played on the second week of the season and really the first league games, even though they're kind of in different divisions.
Sure.
So a little less pressure, and I think I'm not sure that this is going to be an indication of the type of game we'll have if these two teams meet again in the Super Bowl.
Sure, yeah. I don't know if there's any less pressure. Whenever these two teams play, I think that the pressure's all the same.
All right, and the quarterback Camella tried to take that one, but he was met fiercely by number 48 for the LaSalle Rams, and it's going to be 3rd down and long. Anthony Gordon with a big stop there. So, Matt, very nice to see you. Tell us, what are you doing now?
I work down in Washington, D.C.
Doing what?
I work on Capitol Hill.
Doing what?
For a congresswoman from South Dakota.
Oh, fantastic. Well, listen, best of luck to you.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Okay, very good. All right, so 3rd down and long here for the Hendricken Hawks. And a little bit of offensive trouble here, and we'll see if they can convert. As Camel, the quarterback, chased out of the pocket, lets it fly, but complete along the sideline, but that's not going to be enough for a first down.
A good bit of energy there by the middle linebacker, Dante Delbonis. Got into the backfield. A decision time for the Hawks. And, you know, my guess is this is 4-down territory for the most part in high school football, Frank.
So the Hawks will keep the offense out there. Camella came over to the sideline, got the play. He's making his way back into the huddle. The 4th and about 15 yards. The ball spotted on the 26-yard line. Let's see what the Hawks come up with now. And a whistle on the play.
Hendricken wants timeout.
All right, 7:21 to go here in the first half with Hendricken leading LaSalle 13-0. We have more Game Time on YurView coming up after this.
Rhode Island's #1 online rated Volkswagen dealer is now Rhode Island's fastest growing automotive group. Introducing Speedcraft Nissan and Speedcraft Acura. Conveniently located on Route 2 just off Exit 8. It's the same great service you've come to expect, now with an even wider selection. More cars, more SUVs, and now trucks and commercial vehicles. All with the power of Speedcraft standing behind every vehicle we sell. Come in for a test drive today at any of our 3 locations or visit us online at speedcraft.com.
Les Miserables, the world's most popular musical, is now on tour, direct from Broadway. This breathtaking production has left both audiences and critics awestruck. Experience the musical phenomenon. Les Miserables, September 21st through 30th. For tickets, visit ppacri.org or call 401-421-ARTS.
To go to the air, and the pass incomplete. intended for Colin Watkins. So the Hendricken Hawks, who lead here 13-0 in the first half, will turn the ball over, and we'll get the LaSalle Rams to come back out here. Frank Carpano and Mike Rubin with you in Warwick, Rhode Island, about 15 minutes outside of the capital city of Providence for this special edition of Game Time on YurView. Happy that you're with us here tonight. This is the big rivalry for high school football in Rhode Island. The guys in green and gold are the 7-time defending state champions, and the guys in whites and maroon are the team that is their main rival here in the Ocean States, and the team that has lost to them in the state final the last 3 years. We'll get to see them now here on first down and 10 from the 25-yard line.
Weak side, nobody saw him.
And taken down at the line of scrimmage, Andrew Wright. Sean Falloy was the first to get to him to drag the quarterback down.
Yeah, great burst of speed off of the edge here by Falloy, and off of that blind side of the quarterback. He never saw him coming, and he was able to get back to the line of scrimmage, even pick up a yard, and that's a good thing for the Rams. I'm sorry.
Second down and 9. Man in motion, and the handoff goes to Richard McNeil around the left side. He's going to pick up about 4 or 5 yards on the play.
5-yard gain on the run, third down.
So the Rams with a veteran in Andrew Wright, the signal caller out there, the senior, and Richard McNeil, a junior, who's had his role elevated here this year for the Rams. Third down and 3. Off the pass and into the flat. It's complete, and a first down along the sideline. So the Rams will keep the drive alive here as they try and get something going here in the first half.
Let's not minimize that. They're going to try and find a way to get the Oliveira involved in the offense, and they're trying to hurry things up here as LaSalle as well.
First down and 10. Quick pass on the right side, and Marquise Nickerson reels it in, and then he's got plenty of company after picking up 5 yards on the play. And the ball spotted now, still in LaSalle territory on the 43-yard line.
Trying to pick up the tempo, get some different guys involved. Trying to keep this Hendricken defense on its toes.
2 wide out to the left, 2 to the right. Man in motion. Wright takes the snap, looking left, fires, and it's complete over midfield and down to the 40-yard line. A first down pickup for the Rams, and one of their bigger plays here of the first half, the pass to Jake Ribeiro.
Good pattern here by Ribeiro as he gets right between the hash marks. A lot of time, checks off a couple of different receivers, locks in, and then right over the middle, the spin off the first tackle. He's wrapped up nicely, but a good job by LaSalle to get themselves open, and good patience by the quarterback, Andrew Wright.
From the Hendricken 37, the quick pass off in the flat and going nowhere. Ribeiro on the reception again, but he's going to be dropped for a loss. So had plenty of company there once he received the ball, and the Hawks stop him and drop him for about a 6-yard loss. The ball back to the 43-yard line.
Yeah, didn't fool anybody that time, did this Ram offense.
Dylan Gardner, Johnny on the spot for the Hawks. Second down and 15. Back to pass again. And the pass completes to Elijah Perry, but he's dropped for a loss.
Again, good coverage by Hendricken's defense on these receivers. Here comes the hurry. It's almost like they're setting up a screen and nobody bought into it. And that's just nice bit of tackling. Bishop Hendricken's Estacio just drove him back, and now LaSalle needs a timeout here. It's 3rd and 20, but you got to think you're in 4-down territory. So we'll see what they come out of.
All right, we're going to take a break here with a little less than 3.5 minutes to play in the first half, and Hendricken leading it 13-0.
Rhode Island's #1 online rated Volkswagen dealer is now Rhode Island's fastest growing automotive group. Introducing Speedcraft Nissan and Speedcraft Acura. Conveniently located on Route 2 just off Exit 8. It's the same great service you've come to expect, now with an even wider selection. More cars, more SUVs, and now trucks and commercial vehicles. All with the power of Speedcraft standing behind every vehicle we sell. Come in for a test drive today at any of our 3 locations or visit us online at speedcraft.com.
Against the LaSalle Rams, Hendricken, 7-time defending state champion, 13-0 over their main rival, the Rams of LaSalle.
You see the passing yards. Bishop Hendricken, 55 of those 71 came on the touchdown pass. LaSalle, 37 yards passing on I believe 7 of 10 passing for their quarterback, and there he is, Andrew Wright, trying to make something happen on 3rd and long.
Wright looking to his left, lets it go, and it is incomplete. So the Rams will be forced to kick it away.
Good coverage by Hendricken's defense. They went to a zone there. They had 7 men drop back, almost in a beyond a dime package. And there was really nowhere to go. He just heaved it up downfield. And yeah, I think LaSalle has to punt.
On the line of scrimmage, the 48-yard line of the Hendricken Hawks. And set to punt this one away, and just getting it away is Jake Ribeiro, and they'll hop on that ball at the 22-yard line. That's where Hendricken will take over with 3:24 left here in the first half, and the Hawks leading it by a score of 13-0.
Boy, Sean Falloy, that was close. I almost got him in the shoe. That would have been a real lucky spot, but woulda, shoulda, coulda, and now this LaSalle defense has to go back to work. And for the 3rd time today, Frank, the Hendricken offense takes over on a drive in or around their own 20. Once they ended up driving into LaSalle territory, were held on 4 downs. They turned over on downs, but the other 2 times, as we saw, an 82-yard drive and an 80-yard touchdown drive.
Well, we talked about the fact that Hendricken had graduated so many seniors from last year's state championship team, guys like Quiddy Pay, who's now at Michigan playing football, a couple of other guys, Chris Hindle, Andrew Hopgood, also playing D1 at Bryant University here in Rhode Island, but yet they just reload, leading here 13-0 at the end of the first half. And there's the snap to the quarterback, and he's going to take it and pick up about 5 yards on the play.
You mentioned Bryant. They'll be right up the road opening up they'll be opening up Brown season tomorrow. So I guess you could say it's the 2nd biggest game in the state of Rhode Island this weekend.
Yeah, that'll be pretty big, as you mentioned. It's a Brown season opener, and Bryant has played a couple of games already. It's always interesting when the in-state teams get together. We've got 3 here in Rhode Island: Brown, Bryant, and of course the University of Rhode Island.
Bryant's Bryant's head coach, James Perry, a record-setting quarterback at Brown. So I think a lot of people looking forward to seeing that matchup of coach and protege.
2nd down and 7. And the handoff, a big pickup here for the Hawks. Not quite 1st down yardage, but we've got a flag on the play that we'll see what happens here.
First flag in a while after a first quarter that had a lot of hankies. I think this one's going against, I was going to say illegal block in the back against Hendricken. It's their third penalty, but it negates what would have been a pretty decent run.
So they'll be marching this one back. And the ball now spotted at the 26-yard line.
3rd down.
Third down for the Hawks. .207 left to go here in the first half. The officials just making sure everything's straight here, and away we go. There's the snap to the quarterback, and he's directing traffic. Big pickup, 1st down, and knocked out of bounds at the 42-yard line. Big play for Tom Camella, the sophomore, picking up the 1st down and being stopped by Jamari Jenkins from the Rams. So a high snap, almost looked like a broken play, but around the right side goes Camella, and then knocked out of bounds.
You were talking to Mike Maloof, who was a quarterback here as a senior, and you saw the experience move there of calling out for a blocker. I mean, those are little things, but that shows you, I think, kind of the game-ready experience and the confidence that'll breed in your other players from a sophomore quarterback. He doesn't look like a sophomore, Frank. I'm very impressed with his energy, his poise, and certainly his football IQ here in the early goings of this young season.
Camella with a handoff, and around the left side goes Emmanuel, and Emmanuel will pick up a couple of yards before being stopped. William Leonardo, the stop on that play. The senior cornerback coming up to make that stop. It'd be 2nd down and 8.
High praise from head coach Jeff Marcone of LaSalle for Mr. Leonardo. Lost his father a couple years ago and has really battled through a lot of adversity. The coach said, you know, it's nice to see guys that really set that example in your program, and those are sometimes those unsung stories of high school football. You realize how important the program is to the player and vice versa.
Camella takes a snap, wants to throw, lets it go, and it is incomplete. That'll stop the clock with 1:02 to go. Coming up at halftime, they got some things planned here. The Hendricken Parade of Champions, the members of the last 7 state title teams will be riding in cars donated by a local car dealership, Flood Fords, honored by the Hendricken crowd here. And they usually average about 1,000 spectators for a Hendricken football game, but tonight, because it's LaSalle, we've got about 2,000 people who are in the stands and standing along the fence watching this one.
All of that. All of that. Looking over at the Hendricken principal, he's got the clicker on.
3rd and 9, long pass, and I tell you what, it looked like the defender had a hand on the jersey of the intended receiver, but no flag on the play. Wow.
He heaved that ball downfield at Luke Swift, and he's outstretched parallel to this new turf. That's a great looking pass, and oh boy, he almost hauled in what might have been the catch of the year.
Tariq Lowe Torres was step for step with him, and the ball falls incomplete. So 4th down coming up for Hendricken.
Yeah, if you're LaSalle and you're looking for small victories in a game there where you have a goose egg, that's a big one. I mean, you held them after that big gain by Camella, the 17-yard gain. You force them to punt.
All right, Michael Rodriguez is into punt now from his own 30-yard line. And he lets it fly. And finally reeled in by number 17, Ethan Enos. Enos around the left side, picking up big yardage. Back to midfield and into Hendricken territory, finally brought down at the 42-yard line. What a return. Andre De Los Santos finally brings him down. Great move by Enos around the left side.
Yeah, and you see he's got a little bit of field vision. Right there, he knows where he's going. You could see his eyes kind of cocked off to his right. He knew exactly where he was going. That little cut back there enabled him to pick up another 10 or 15 yards. And LaSalle using their defense to maybe breathe some life into the, as they call their fan section, the beehive on the far side of the field.
30 seconds to try and get something to happen here. They've got 1 timeout left here in the first half. And here come the Rams. Andrew Wright calling signals. Takes the snap, lets it fly. And incomplete. Are they calling it a complete pass? No, they're ruling it incomplete.
Oh boy.
The receiver reeling it in and started to make the move downfield, and then the ball slipping out of his hand. So they're going to call it an incomplete pass. The Hendricken crowd thinks that it was a fumble.
Does he have the possession and make a football move? Not really. No. He never really had possession of that football. It's a good call by the officials.
It does stop the clock with 28 seconds to go. 2nd down and 10. Ball on the 41-yard line. Right, looking, letting fly long, and stopping and looking for was Elijah Perry, and it's over his head, and he wants a penalty call, but no flag from the officials, and it's going to be 3rd down.
Again, credit to the officials keeping the flag in the pocket. That ball, I think Perry did too much to try and sell the call. The ball was heaved downfield. He turned around, and if he had actually kept after the play, he might have had a shot at the catch, but it was actually some good coverage. There was contact, but the ball was 10 yards beyond him.
3rd and 10 from the 41-yard line with 22 seconds to go in the first half. There's a snap, right, looking over to the right, and he's got a receiver, and in and out of the hands of Richard McNeil. McNeil covered pretty tightly on that play. Number 44, Michael Rodriguez, was right there with him. So now 4th down for the Rams. The final seconds here of the first half.
Yeah, they got to go for it. I mean, I can't imagine a situation where they kick unless they look out there and do the quick kick. But I think you're going to go for it.
Let's see what they come up with here. 4th down. Wright's looking over to the left and incomplete. The ball intended for Elijah Perry is over his head. So it'll be LaSalle turning the ball over on downs. And with just seconds to go here in the first half, we can look for Hendricken to take a knee. And then we'll all be headed for a break and some nice halftime ceremonies here on the field. And also some great plans for you viewers. Got a nice story on Kwity Paye, who we mentioned, graduated last year from Bishop Hendricken and as a freshman at Michigan, actually seeing some playing time. So we're going to hear about him and also hear about a great cause that the kids at Hendricken are involved in, the Gloria Gemmer Breast Cancer Research Foundation. I know you did an interview with the principal here at Hendricken to talk about their involvement in what is a very worthy cause, and that's all coming up here at halftime. So the Hawks take a knee and they'll head to the locker room with a 13-0 lead as we are 1 half down. This game between the Hendricken Hawks, 7-time state defending champions, and the LaSalle Rams. So halftime show coming up in just a few minutes. Stay with us. Game Time on YurView continues right after this.
Rhode Island's #1 online rated Volkswagen dealer is now Rhode Island's fastest growing automotive group. Introducing Speedcraft Nissan and Speedcraft Acura. Conveniently located on Route 2 just off Exit 8. It's the same great service you've come to expect, now with an even wider selection. More cars, more SUVs, and now trucks and commercial vehicles. All with the power of Speedcraft standing behind every vehicle we sell. Come in for a test drive today at any of our 3 locations or visit us online at speedcraft.com.
I'm John Rook, the voice of your Providence College Friars men's basketball team. It's that time of year again. And there's nothing like a sold-out crowd at the Dunkin' Donuts Center. One thing I've learned calling Friar basketball over the years is that anything can happen on game day. Legends have played on this court, creating memories that have lasted a lifetime. This upcoming season, it's time to make more. This is Friartown.
Step in here, hot pants.
The wait is over. Are y'all ready to see your fixer-upper?
You slayed it.
Wow!
You killed it.
This is amazing.
Yes!
Fixer-upper, Tuesday night at 9, only on HGTV.
Brought to you locally by Pella. Perfectly beautiful. Testing beyond requirements with style beyond ordinary. Visit Pella.com, an Energy Star partner since 1999.
Les Miserables, the world's most popular musical, is now on tour, direct from Broadway. This breathtaking production has left both audiences and critics awestruck. Experience the musical phenomenon. Les Miserables, September 21st through 30th. For tickets, visit ppacri.org or call 401-421-ARTS.
Hendricken High School, obviously, on a beautiful night. A lot of spirit in the stands. The principal of the school is Jay Brennan. I'm Mike Rubin for our entire crew. And, you know, first of all, what a great atmosphere. You've got to be proud.
Well, it's a beautiful night. The kids are all pumped up. Our players are ready. I'm sure LaSalle is ready. Their fans are ready. It's a great rivalry. So let's play ball.
Well, and there's something about these matchups that are transcending the game, and certainly that's your partnership as a school with the Gemma Foundation.
Yes, we started our partnership with the Gemma Foundation. This will be our 8th year of being involved in their 5K run. And it started my first year as principal, and I decided it was important to teach the young men the lessons about how we have to take care of women in our society. Unfortunately, in our society, things that the kids are seeing on television, movies, music, a lot of it is not very respectful to women. And the fact that we're in an all-male environment, it's very easy to let the testosterone take over. So as we educate, our mission calls for to educate the entire person, we need to make sure that they understand that they have to take care of the women in their lives. So we started doing this as an initiative to teach that lesson and to bear witness that Bishop Hendricken High School will take care of the women in their lives.
And beyond that, the service aspect and how it connects to your goal for every young man that walks in and out of this school. Could you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, we require every student to do 25 hours of community service. So the service that these young men are doing, they're raising money for the Gloria Gemma Foundation, and over the 8 years, they raised over $150,000 for the Gemma Foundation to fight breast cancer.
And by October 1st, fans of Bishop Hendricken can donate online. They can see one of the student athletes. It seems like it's a real whole school commitment.
It really is. I encourage the young men not only to take part in this, but to invite their moms to walk with them. So it's really become a tradition where the young men walk with their moms. It's a great family day when we get together and meet at the Gemma 5K.
Well, obviously, you're doing a whole lot of things right here. You can tell just by the electricity in the air, and I know the foundation really appreciates all you're doing as well.
Thank you.
Congratulations on really a great night and a great tradition.
And here is the shirts that has our logo on it that says Hendricken Mans Up Against Breast Cancer. So you get 500 Hendricken students wearing this on the walk. It's a great statement for our school.
Well, there's still many opportunities between now and October 1st to not only support the mission of the school, the charity, the everything. It really is a trifold effort. Congratulations again.
Thanks a lot, Mike. Thank you.
That's the principal of Bishop.
I'm John Rook, the voice of your Providence College Friars men's basketball team. It's that time of year again. And there's nothing like a sold-out crowd at the Dunkin' Donuts Center. One thing I've learned calling Friar basketball over the years is that anything can happen on game day. Legends have played on this court, creating memories that have lasted a lifetime. This upcoming season, it's time to make more. This is Friartown.
Rhode Island's #1 online rated Volkswagen dealer is now Rhode Island's fastest growing automotive group. Introducing Speedcraft Nissan and Speedcraft Acura. Conveniently located on Route 2 just off Exit 8. It's the same great service you've come to expect, now with an even wider selection. More cars, more SUVs, and now trucks and commercial vehicles. All with the power of Speedcraft standing behind every vehicle we sell. Come in for a test drive today at any of our 3 locations or visit us online at speedcraft.com.
Step in here, hot pants.
The wait is over. Are y'all ready to see your fixer-upper?
You slayed it.
Whoa!
You killed it.
This is amazing.
Yes!
Fixer-upper, Tuesday night at 9, only on HGTV.
Brought to you locally by Pella. Perfectly beautiful. Testing beyond requirements with style beyond ordinary. Visit Pella.com, an Energy Star partner since 1999.
Les Miserables, the world's most popular musical, is now on tour, direct from Broadway. This breathtaking production has left both audiences and critics awestruck. Experience the musical phenomenon. Les Miserables, September 21st through 30th. For tickets, visit ppacri.org or call 401-421-ARTS.
Nothing better than the LaSalle Hendricken rivalry.
It's a big one, you know. It's the best in the state. Nothing beats the LaSalle Hendricken rivalry. It's obviously the best rivalry in the state, or at the Super Bowls when, you know, both sides of Cranston Stadium are completely filled.
There's nothing better than it.
It's just an unbelievable atmosphere. It just showed how much people cared about football in that state, you know, because every time that game came around, everybody in the state would go to that game to see who's the best, because those were the two best programs in the whole state.
Nothing better than going to a game on Friday night against obviously the biggest rival that we have in Rhode Island.
It was real fun, you know, just to be in that game and just to show everybody like who's the best in the state. You learn a lot about yourself, you know, how to communicate with teammates during situations like that, because it's so high pressure. The atmosphere is, you know, you don't really experience it a lot in high school football in terms of like that crowd and that magnitude.
I learned that no matter what happens, you can't get down on your teammates, you can't get down on yourself. You got to be able to have a short memory.
I learned from those games just to keep my poise, you know. I remember my sophomore year, my first time ever like starting in that game, I was real nervous, but you know, the senior captains came up to me and just told me, you know, just stay calm, just do your job, and we'll win this game.
This is the type of game you're gonna win. You're gonna fight for every inch, every yard.
Coach Croft, he prepared me for life by just keeping me humble, you know, like even off the football field.
Coach Croft and the rest of the football coaches really prepared me to think for myself on the football field.
It just shows, you know, how much the coaches actually care, you know, because our coaches could have left a while ago and coached for colleges and stuff, but they decided to stay down and coach us, you know, and that just shows us how good our program was, how good our coaches were to be able to send all those kids to play D1 football. In terms of you know, helping the community out, I think that was a big message he put in all of us, so that was really important. He just made sure that I stayed like down to earth, you know, like just making sure I treat everybody with the respect that they need. It says a lot. It says, you know, how well the coaches have done there, how well the program prepares you, not only as an athlete, but just overall as a student and a person. My time at Hendricken was a great experience. Academically, you know, the teachers really push you hard, want you to be better students. And I think that's really helped me prepare to get into college. Academically, it prepared me well.
Well, at Hendricken, it's really a challenging academic place. They really take it very seriously there.
On the football team, it was a lot of fun, you know, being around my friends all the time.
Football-wise, it was a lot of fun. Every kid on the team was really one of my best friends. It was a really good opportunity for me to bond and be a part of the team. Couldn't have had more fun when I was out there and in the classroom too. You
know, we were always together, whether it was after games, after practice, obviously during practice and stuff like that. It was definitely a fun experience being around them all the time. I believe that's the best high school in the whole state. They just prepare me to, you know, just play hard every single play and do everything I can to just help the team win.
Rhode Island's #1 online rated Volkswagen dealer is now Rhode Island's fastest growing automotive group. Introducing Speedcraft Nissan and Speedcraft Acura. Conveniently located on Route 2 just off Exit 8. It's the same great service you've come to expect, now with an even wider selection. More cars, more SUVs, and now trucks and commercial vehicles. All with the power of Speedcraft standing behind every vehicle we sell. Come in for a test drive today at any of our 3 locations or visit us online at speedcraft.com.
Step in here, hot pants.
The wait is over. Are y'all ready to see your fixer-upper?
Oh! You slayed it.
Whoa!
You killed it.
This is amazing.
Yes!
Fixer-upper, Tuesday night at 9, only on HGTV.
Brought to you locally by Pella. Perfectly beautiful. Testing beyond requirements with style beyond ordinary. Visit Pella.com, an Energy Star partner since 1999.
Bishop Hendricken High School invites you to learn about our commitment to excellence.
Visit Hendricken.
In the classroom, in the arts, on the playing field.
Visit Hendricken.
Our rich tradition of Catholic education provides extraordinary opportunities for young men of intellect, character, and faith. At Bishop Hendricken, the learning environment enables all students to reach their full potential. Come to our open house. Learn about our legacy.
Les Miserables, the world's most popular musical, is now on tour, direct from Broadway. This breathtaking production has left both audiences and critics awestruck. Experience the musical phenomenon. Les Miserables, September 21st through 30th. For tickets, visit ppacri.org or call 401-421-ARTS.
Welcome back to Warwick, Rhode Island. We're at halftime. Bishop Hendricken leading LaSalle Academy 13-0. Frank Carpano along with Mike Rubin for this high school football rivalry game here in Warwick, about 15 minutes outside of Providence, Rhode Island. Bishop Hendricken, the 7-time defending state champions, and their big rivals, the LaSalle Rams, playing here in the first big week of high school football in the Ocean State. In the first half, offensively, all Bishop Hendricken, Mike.
Particularly in that first quarter, they got things going. They got things going in a big way as we get a look at some of the big plays of half number one. And really for Hendricken, it was a little bit of big plays in the early goings. They had Devin Rivet got things going. Didn't see a lot of him in the second quarter. He ripped off this big run about 30-odd yards here, and unfortunately that one got ended. And you got to wonder if he feeling the ill effects of that big hit at the tail end of that play, because we did not see Rivet a whole lot in the second quarter. But he's a heck of an athlete, very quick, and you can see he was a little shaken up as he got driven to the turf in what was a physical first quarter. But boy, did Hendricken come to play. That young man, the quarterback, Thomas Camella, a couple big gains, did a good job of managing the offense, particularly in that first quarter. Didn't make a lot of mistakes, found the holes, rushed pretty well. For LaSalle, they tried to get things going. There's Joel O'Connor, a good run. Watch out with the camera over there on the sidelines. Probably their best play of the half for LaSalle was this Ethan Ennis run back of a punt. It gave them really great field position, and you could see life on the side of the Rams as he burst across midfield. They had, I think it was 1st and 10 on the right side of midfield as he had a great run back of that punt. Your defense had just held, but then it was 1, 2, 3, 4, and out. Here's a couple of touchdowns. You could have driven a truck for that hole for Izzy Emanuel. Went right over the left side. That made it 6-0. Hendricken, the point after it was 7. And then this little dump and chase. Lots of yards after the catch for Angel Sanchez. Watch him cut back to his left. Little dance, and whoop, there he goes. All the way downfield. No one's catching him. The point after missed, but it didn't matter. 13-0 Hendricken, and that's where we are. Third quarter on the way.
All right, second half is coming up. We'll be right back with more Game Time on YurView. Like butter. Like butter.
Rhode Island's #1 online rated Volkswagen dealer is now Rhode Island's fastest growing automotive group. Introducing Speedcraft Nissan and Speedcraft Acura. Conveniently located on Route 2 just off Exit 8. It's the same great service you've come to expect, now with an even wider selection. More cars, more SUVs, and now trucks and commercial vehicles. All with the power of Speedcraft standing behind every vehicle we sell. Come in for a test drive today at any of our 3 locations or visit us online at speedcraft.com.
I'm John Rook, the voice of your Providence College Friars men's basketball team. It's that time of year again. And there's nothing like a sold-out crowd at the Dunkin' Donuts Center. One thing I've learned calling Friar basketball over the years is that anything can happen on game day. Legends have played on this court, creating memories that have lasted a lifetime. This upcoming season, it's time to make more. This is Friartown.
Brown football game is Ivy League Network and Nesson Plus. Is that the same?
Yes. So it'll be online on the Ivy League Network, and then the TV band of it. If you don't have like your Hulu or your Apple TV for Ivy League Network, you can watch it on Nesson Plus.
Okay. So it's the same telecast, same crew, and the whole thing.
That's probably a Harvard game. Harvard does all their stuff on Nesson Plus. Probably Harvard.
I'm trying to think. I think URI has Harvard this week, or this. Yeah. That's a weird matchup. I can't remember the last time they played Harvard.
Harvard will kill them.
Welcome back, Warwick, Rhode Island. Our high school football matchup of the week, Bishop Hendricken against LaSalle. And the Hawks of Bishop Hendricken leading this one 13-0 to start the second half. And the Rams trying to get something going here, but unfortunately will not be getting the ball to start the second half. They'll be kicking it off to the Hawks. But as Mike Rubin mentioned a little bit earlier during our halftime show, LaSalle showed a little bit of life there at the end of the first half. They have yet to break through with a score here. This is the first big week of high school football in the Ocean States, and a little unusual for these two rivals to be playing this early in the season, and really not a harbinger of things to come for later in the season, because many are already predicting that it'll be Hendricken and LaSalle in the Super Bowl game come December.
And that's something Coach Marcone said. It's something you can't look down the road at after this one. You get the opportunity to play early on in the year. It's an emotional game, but at the same time, it's sometimes hard to get used to your process and establishing who you are as a team when you have the big game early. At the same time, you know, it's nice to not have to play this emotional game late in the season, and then as you were talking about with one of the players at the second quarter, flip the switch to playoffs the very next week. That's not easy.
Well, here we go, start of the second half, and the kick, a short one down to the 25-yard line, and some great coverage by LaSalle. And they have boxed in Hendricken. Sean Falloy reels in that kick, and he is dropped almost immediately. So we'll see the Hawks coming out here, first drive of the second half.
You know, and after the first quarter, LaSalle's defense did a better job of, I would say, containing Hendricken in the second. You know, those 13 points were scored very quickly in the first quarter, and they did a good job of kind of settling down. All those penalties in the first quarter, none in the second. So LaSalle needs to keep that pressure and patience up in the second half.
All right, Tom Camella, the sophomore quarterback for the Hawks, takes the snap around to his right, tucks it in, looking for some room, and then scampers out of bounds and may have lost a yard on that play. Headed out of bounds at about their own 19-yard line. Camella getting his first taste, leading the offense in this rivalry game between LaSalle and Hendricken. About 2,000 people in the stands here. LaSalle from Providence, about 15 minutes away. Brings a lot of people to this big game. And Hendricken, the kids started arriving a couple of hours before kickoff here today, and they're all revved up for this rivalry.
Well, they weren't moving their cars. I mean, they didn't want to have to get stuck in one of the lots down the road. You have a good parking space. That was a premium here today.
All right, here's second down and 11, and the big run, breaking one for first down yardage and then some. Israel Emanuel has already got a touchdown here tonight, and he picks up first down yardage.
You know, and we haven't seen a lot of Rivet. Emanuel's shouldered the workload, and there's the cutback again. Very nicely done. Eluded the grasp of one tackler, and then it took two of them at least, to bring him down. Nice run, about 16 yards. He's got about 62 yards on the ground, including a touchdown.
Ball spotted at the 36-yard line. First down and 10 for the Hawks. Angel Santana splits out wide to the right. Camella from the shotgun. Man in motion. Fakes the handoff and is going to keep it himself right up the middle. And he gets up over the 40-yard line. Stopped about the 41-yard line to pick up 5 yards for the sophomore quarterback. Second down here.
Yeah, and Frank, sorry, we saw them run that play quite a bit in the first quarter. They went away from it where they put the man in motion, Sanchez, and you could see how successful they are because LaSalle has to follow him. They have to follow that man in motion, and it is opening up the box, and that's where they've been able to gain yards, a gain of 6, second down.
From the 41-yard line, right in front of the press box here, and there's a snap from the shotgun, and we're going to have a penalty flag here. As right in on the quarterback was LaSalle's Alex Nuon.
Yeah, fourth penalty of the day against Bishop Hendricken. Negates what would have been a second down and short, second down and maybe a short 4, and now it's back to second down and 10. It looks like. So it would have been second and 5.
Camella over to the sideline, brings the play in. Luke Swift splits out wide to the left. 2 receivers wide to the right. There's the handoff, and right up the middle again goes Emanuel. Emanuel picking up some good yardage there. Pickup of about 8. out to the 44-yard line, where it'll be third down here for the Hawks.
And I'll tell you, that's one that I think LaSalle's Evan Alicon's going to want back. He had him in his grasp at about 2 or 3 yards, and he was able to slip right through. Did Emmanuel, turned it into a gain of 8. 3rd and short. The big play for this LaSalle defense coming out of the break.
Camella from the shotgun. And the handoff, to Emmanuel. He's not going anywhere this time, as he is stacked up at the line and pushed back. So it's going to be 4th down here for the Hawks, and what has to be a real good sign for the LaSalle defense coming out here to start the second half with a big stop.
Yeah, precisely. That was a bigger play than you give credit to, because you might actually think in the first quarter, every one of those was converted by Bishop Hendricken, and some of them for some big yardage. So, when they had an 80 and an 82-yard drive in the first quarter for touchdowns, that's a big boost for this defense that seems to have settled down. And the kick was dropped.
Rodriguez picks it up, and he's going to run, and he gets back to the line of scrimmage and is finally ridden down by LaSalle, who get great field position here for their first offensive drive of the second half.
That was a nice try there by Rodriguez. Honestly, he dropped the football, and you'll see what happens. He still has some time to kick it. He catches it. It was a good snap. He just missed it. He picks it up, and look at LaSalle. They weren't rushing. He might have still been able to kick that off, and instead he tucks, he runs, and great field position for LaSalle Academy. This is where you start talking about turning points if they're able to convert.
Well, LaSalle with great field position will pick it up 1st and 10 on Hendricken's 43-yard line on this, their first offensive drive here in the second half, with just under 9 minutes to play in the third quarter. There's the snap and the handoff, and winding his way down to the 40-yard line was Jake Ribeiro, and then stacked up after a pickup of about 6 yards. Let's see where they spot this ball.
Frank, they're trying awfully hard to get Ribeiro involved in the offense. He's been a target a couple of times for Andrew Wright, and here you see them run him out of the slot into a rushing pattern. They really want to get these athletes going, particularly where D'Oliveira has been bottled up.
2nd and 5 now. And here's Wright's going to keep it himself after he fakes the handoff, and he is going to spin his way to first down territory down to the 31-yard line.
That's what you call the read option. He fakes the handoff, and the reality is D'Oliveira could have very well had the football. Everybody's fooled, and meanwhile, Wright's tucking and running off to the left, and they're hurrying it up.
All right, 1st down and 10 as they reset the markers. Right from the shotgun, and he hands off. Ribeiro cuts around the corner and then pushed out of bounds at about the 20-yard line. So ran more east to west than south there on that play.
Yeah, he got the ball in the backfield, gets a little bit of a bump there from Marquise Nickerson, just enough to lock up the defender. Nice stiff arm, and ridden out of bounds on the tail end of that nicely by Ethan Worster. But again, the Rams moving the football, building confidence here in the third quarter.
All right, Wright fakes the handoff, keeps it himself around the right side, down to the 10, down to the 5, and in for a touchdown. Andrew Wright gets LaSalle on the board here in the third quarter.
That's a huge, huge boost for LaSalle Academy, to say the least, and that might be the understatement of the evening. Wright is fired up, running the read option perfectly. The fake to Ribeiro, and now look, the defensive linemen, they're all following. You saw number 74 looking left. Everybody's following him, and nicely done to duck, carry, and off to the races for the touchdown.
All right, a flag at the end of the play. And that will push the ball back as Salle coach Jeff Marcone out onto the field, wondering what the call is going to be at the flag after the play. Or not. Is this holding?
Oh, they took the touchdown off the board.
Wow.
Well, that was a late flag. I didn't see a flag,
yeah.
Frank. I mean, we'll get another look, I'm sure, from our crew. I could see why Coach Marcone's upset. That takes it off. Now, let's take a look, and nothing in our field division. must have been behind the play. There it is late there, and maybe a block to the back there laid on Hendricken's Michael Rodriguez. And that backs it up. Yeah, that had to have been it, Frank, because it's a spot foul. And it's first down from the 8.
Ball on the 18, and the handoff this time goes to Ribeiro around the left side, looking for room, and turns it upfield, and he is knocked out of bounds, and that's going to be close to a first down as he's knocked out at about the 6-yard line.
Well,
so the Rams keeping themselves from being demoralized after scoring the touchdown and having it called back, come up with a big play here, and they spot the ball at the 6, and that's very close to a first down. So they mark it as a first down. It'll be first and goal here for LaSalle.
And whistles blowing, timeout Hendricken. They want to settle things down for this defense. You know, it wasn't a very demonstrative flag, certainly, and we were following right in his celebration, and meanwhile, behind the play, I'll be honest with you, Frank, I think everybody was following right except the back judge who threw the flag.
I did see one member of the, I believe it was an offensive lineman for LaSalle, hold somebody and turn them around right after Wright went by with a football on that play, just in the frame as Wright ran his way into the end zone. So the officials saw it, they called the touchdown back, and here's LaSalle now trying to keep it going as they got great field position here to start this first drive for them here in the second half. So second down now and goal for the Rams as they come back to the line of scrimmage after the Hendricken timeout. The Hawks leading it 13-0 here in the third. Correction, first down for the Rams. Wright takes the snap and the handoff, and
touchdown.
Into the end zone goes Jake Ribeiro. So the Rams get on the scoreboard. No flags on the field after that play, so put 6 on the board for LaSalle.
And no celebration this time. They're just going, oh, there is a flag. They did throw a flag, Frank. My goodness. I think they just called a hold. Or is it against Hendricken? Oh, it was contact to the helmet against Hendricken, and that's half the distance. That's after the play. It was on the tackle, so, boy.
So they'll keep the 6 up on the board. The score now 13-6 Hendricken. And the Rams
are going to kick. Or are they?
Let's see. Yep,
looks like they're going to kick.
Lining up for the kick. Ryan Trojan. There's the snap. The ball's down. The kick is up. And the kick is good. So the score here with 7:34 to go in the third quarter. Hendricken sees their lead shrink. They lead it now 13-7.
Rhode Island's #1 online rated Volkswagen dealer is now Rhode Island's fastest growing automotive group. Introducing Speedcraft Nissan and Speedcraft Acura. Conveniently located on Route 2 just off Exit 8. It's the same great service you've come to expect, now with an even wider selection. More cars, more SUVs, and now trucks and commercial vehicles. All with the power of Speedcraft standing behind every vehicle we sell. Come in for a test drive today at any of our 3 locations or visit us online at speedcraft.com.
Step in here, hot pants.
The wait is over. Are y'all ready to see your fixer-upper?
Oh! You slayed it.
Whoa!
You killed it.
This is amazing.
Yes!
Fixer-upper, Tuesday night at 9, only on HGTV.
Brought to you locally by Pella. Perfectly beautiful. Testing beyond requirements with style beyond ordinary. Visit Pella.com, an Energy Star partner since 1999.
High school game of the week here on YurView. We're in Warwick, Rhode Island for the big rivalry game between Bishop Hendricken and LaSalle Academy. LaSalle scoring their first points of the game to cut into Hendricken's lead. The score now 13-7 here in the third quarter.
Well, they have an illegal substitution on Bishop Hendricken, which is going to allow LaSalle to kick off from the other side of midfield.
So that'll push him back. The kickoff return guys on their own goal line now.
So there was also a whistle. They also assessed the penalty from the end of the touchdown run. So we have a couple of things going on here against Hendricken. So now here's the touchdown run by Ribeiro. Gets the inside handoff. Again, they needed to get this guy involved in a lot of room. Nice blocking. An even better job of cutting himself back. And then there you go. Touchdown, LaSalle. Didn't see much in the way of head-to-head contact, but that was the call.
Ryan Trojan now. The ball lined up on the Hendricken 45.
Oh, my.
Kick, and
I think LaSalle has it.
And the onside kick. And we're waiting for a signal, and it looks like they're signaling that it's Hendricken football.
No,
one official is actually pointing.
Yeah, that's LaSalle football.
And that's going to be the Rams football.
Yeah, that's LaSalle football. It fooled everybody.
Charles White's falling on top of that one.
Well, first game of the season, don't hold anything back. I suppose when you're kicking off from the 45, why the heck not? And you can see it right there, plain as day. LaSalle recovers the football. Excellent field position for the Rams, and they keep this Hendricken defense on the field. And Hendricken's defense hasn't had a solution yet for LaSalle in this second half. And boy, what a turn of events. We talked about momentum being able to shift, particularly on that third down stop by LaSalle's defense. And since then, the Rams have been rolling.
The Rams come out first and 10 on Hendricken's 34-yard line. Man in motion now, and the quarterback keeping the ball, and Wright's diving ahead for a few yards, and a flag comes in at the end of the play from the backfield, from downfield, and we'll see what the call is here as the officials consult one another.
I have no idea. It was it was off the ball, and it looks like they're indicating they're picking the flag up. So gain of a couple
of yards there for Andrew Wright, and second down, and actually they'll mark it just a 1-yard gain. So second down and 9, but great field position here for the LaSalle Rams on the 32-yard line, 33-yard line on the left hash mark. And the handoff goes to Ribeiro around the left side, and he is knocked out of bounds inside the 30 at about the 27-yard line.
Well, crunch time here for this Hendricken defense, trying to get LaSalle off the field. And, in all likelihood, you're going for an onside kick. You're probably talking about 4-down territory for LaSalle. 3rd and 4, it's makeable. So the question that I have, you've done a nice job on the ground, is do you keep running these sort of read options with Ribeiro if you're the offense, or do you try and throw it off into the flat, which was successful in the first half, but sort of stalled out in the second quarter? It's a big moment here for this Hendricken defense.
Here's Wright calling signals, now looking over to the sideline.
I think they just changed the play, a little audible from the sideline.
Wright calling signals now, split backfield, man in motion is Ribeiro, and the handoff goes right up the middle and stacked right at the line of scrimmage, going nowhere on that play for the Rams.
Great surge by the defensive line of Hendricken. Take a look. De Oliveira goes right into the pile. Everybody's there. Here comes Gangrene, and nowhere for Oliveira to go. He's been bottled up well. 5th carry of the night. He only has 4 yards rushing. And now Hendricken will try and hold on 4th and 7.
Back to pass. Wright's got a man open, and then in and out of the hands of the receiver who had to come back for it. It goes incomplete, so incomplete to Jake Ribeiro down the far sideline. Looks like he was hurt on the play, and here's that pass again.
Yeah, heaves it up there. Watch how he comes down and just hyperextended a little bit. And, in this weather, it's humid, Frank. So you worry about cramping, and, he's a little awkward when he landed. Not a guy that the Rams really want to have to think about doing business without. Ribeiro's had a terrific second half. And you hope it's just cramping, and you can see him shaking out his foot. Sometimes a foot cramp. I don't know about you, but I hate him.
Yeah, that hurts. So
yeah, that's exactly what it is.
The head coach over there stretching him out. Ribeiro, along with the quarterback Andrew Wright, looking after him, and the trainer for the Hendricken Hawks, making his way over to the other sideline to check on Jake Ribeiro. I just want to remind you that this week on YurView's High School Football Recruiting Podcast, Josh Ward from WMML in Knoxville breaks down the Tennessee-Florida recruiting rivalry. YurView analyst, former Dallas Cowboy and SMU Mustang Dale Hallestrey gives his thoughts on how Arizona and Arizona State have struggled with local recruiting. All that and much more coming up on this week's episode of Over the Middle Podcasts. Check it out at YurView.com.
There was a flag on the rush, and I think it's going against Bishop Hendricken, so that'll back him up.
So they'll play first down again, but 15 yards to go for first as Hendricken drops a little bit deeper into their own territory. The ball spotted on the 25-yard line.
Lot of flags today, Frank. You can tell it's early in the season. Both coaches will be talking about that, I'm sure, in the film room this week.
Camella takes the snap, going to keep it himself around the right side, up over the 30 and bounced out of bounds at about the 35-yard line.
Good positive yardage from Camella. Probably a gain of about 10. He's up over about 75 yards rushing here this evening. And gets back all of that penalty yardage and then some, makes this back to a second down and makeable. But, you know, Hendricken's offense hasn't had the same possession time here in the second half that they did in the first half, certainly the first quarter. And the defense for LaSalle is held. So I would say that this is a more crucial set of downs for Hendricken than maybe we've seen yet today.
Here's the handoff, and Angel Sanchez around the left side trying to turn it upfield, and he picks up first down yardage before being knocked out at the 43.
I'll tell you, boy, LaSalle Academy's coaching staff's not going to be too happy. You get penetration right there from Ennis, and he just missed him. You know, he darted up a little bit too far. It allowed Sanchez to get himself free. His first rush of the day is good for first down yardage for Bishop Hendricken.
Well, this is a big game for so many members of the LaSalle defense. 8 of 11 starters from last year's team graduated. So a lot of new faces in that lineup, and that may help explain some of the flags here today against the LaSalle defense.
Yeah, Hendricken's been a ground and pound team. They've only thrown the ball 6 times, 3 of 6 for, you know, the touchdown, obviously, about 70 yards. But you saw there almost 250 yards rushing for the Hawks, but only 13 points to show for them.
First and 10. Here's a quarterback out to throw, and he's got a receiver, connects with Angel Santana, and he goes in for the, just short of a touchdown.
Inside the 1, Frank.
Wow.
The defense went up, they came down, but he was already beyond their reach. Good poise here from Camella, finds his man, got behind the defender. Good job by Santana to stop the pattern, haul in the pass, and then get downfield. That was very close to adding another 7 on the board, 6 on the board, I should say, for Bishop Hendricken. That was a gain of about 50.
Richard McNeil on the coverage there just stopped when he saw that the guy that he was covering stopped, looking for the ball over his shoulder, and then just got away from him. And here we go. First and goal from the 1-yard line. And it's going to be quarterback keeper, push, and no go as Camella is pushed back for perhaps a loss of 1 here.
Now you're asking an awful lot of your defense here after another big play. And Hendricken's been big plays all day. That's the second pass of more than 50 yards. I mean, and he's only thrown the ball 7 times. You know, 4 of 7, 120, 130 yards.
Pretty good percentage. So they'll try again here on second and goal. The ball at about the 1.5-yard line. Here's Camella under center, and he's going to take it again. Pushing and no signal. Still, it's going to be third down and goal.
He definitely didn't get in, and there's no question about that. And it's, again, you get 4 tries from the 1 or inside the 1.
Camella back over to the sideline to get the play call. a little bit of a discussion here. Some words of encouragement, and takes the play back into the huddle. 2:44 to go here in the third quarter, and Hendricken holding on to a 13-7 lead.
So you can't take a chance if you're the defense, but I have a feeling like they're going to the big fella in the backfield. Rodriguez.
There's the handoff, and stopped. How about that?
Wow.
Big stop there for LaSalle as Michael Rodriguez couldn't push it in.
Great surge by the nose guard, and it just bottles up the inside of that defensive line, and that allows, actually it was Ribeiro back on the field to step in and make the tackle. So now you got fourth down. You had 4 plays from inside the 1 after the big play. This could very well be the game. Tyler Barrows knows it, the nose guard of LaSalle. He's fired up. And we'll see what the Hendricken Hawks do. They got 3 wide to the right side.
Camella under center, cheating to his right and going to his left and turning it upfield and in for the touchdown. Tom Camella, sophomore quarterback, puts 6 more on the board for Hendricken.
Well, the 3 wide out to that far side, thin things out inside the box. Here's a look. You see everybody from the line is watching the guy from the backfield, and that leaves it one-on-one in the isolation coming over the side. The only guy who had a chance at making a tackle was McNeil, and there's really nothing he could do. And you could see the body language of the Rams. They know they had Hendricken where they wanted him. They had a little bit of the momentum. I know that's a big-time play there for Camella, and now they're going to go for 2.
The quarterback from the shotgun, Camella. Around to his right, wants to pass, got some company, a little lofted pass,
it's
and
good.
It is complete. So that is reeled in by Angel Santana. 2 more points on the board for the Hendricken Hawks here. So Hendricken putting 2 more on the boards and extending their lead to 21-7. More right after this.
Rhode Island's #1 online rated Volkswagen dealer is now Rhode Island's fastest growing automotive group. Introducing Speedcraft Nissan and Speedcraft Acura. Conveniently located on Route 2 just off Exit 8. It's the same great service you've come to expect, now with an even wider selection. More cars, more SUVs, and now trucks and commercial vehicles. All with the power of Speedcraft standing behind every vehicle we sell. Come in for a test drive today at any of our 3 locations or visit us online at speedcraft.com.
The Game Time High School Football Game of the Week is brought to you by Speedcraft, locally owned and operated. Rhode Island's fastest growing automotive group is Speedcraft. Check out YurView.com for live stream games from some of the best high school teams in the country all fall long.
Kickoff, and LaSalle, number 15, Jolan O'Connor, had a little problem with that kickoff return, and he is going to end up not picking up any yardage on the return, and LaSalle will take over here as there's a new burst of energy from that Hendricken sideline.
Indeed, Frank, and I think one of the things that LaSalle now needs to do is they're under a little bit of pressure, and they're forced to answer. They haven't led. They had this game back where they wanted it a little bit, seized a little bit more of the momentum, and now you face a long field, and they've not done well with the long field. So come out, manage the energy, and put the ball in the hands of your playmakers. Those were our keys at the beginning of the game, and that's where they've done their best. And for Hendricken, it's just pursue. Play smart, play with a lead, play to win, and we know this program knows how to do that.
Andrew Wright, the handoff on first down. And that is Leroy de Oliveira trying to turn it upfield, and a pickup of a couple of yards before he is swarmed by the Hendricken defense. And that brings up second down after a pickup of about 3 yards. Deep in LaSalle territory. So the Rams, who had great field position that led to their first touchdown, now working from deep inside their own territory. Split backfield with the quarterback Andrew Wright calling signals. He wants to pass, looking to his left, and then tucks it in, and he's going to run, and then slides down over the 20-yard line to about the 21-yard line, where it'll be 3rd down for LaSalle.
Well, Bishop Hendricken did a very nice job of taking away his desired receiver, Elijah Perry. Good coverage downfield, and then everybody else was in a zone. So when he broke to run, it collapsed on him. He was able to pick up 7, and now it's a short 3rd and 2.
There's the handoff now, and that goes to Ribeiro. Ribeiro around the left side, and he picks up 1st down yardage and gets up over the 30-yard line to the 31.
Yeah, every now and then you get a guy who's having one of those days and one of those guys who's not. And unfortunately for LaSalle, they haven't been able to really get the Oliveira going in this game. And Ribeiro has picked up that slack here in the second half, but I think they need to balance this offense a little bit.
All right, the fake of the handoff again, and the quarterback right wants to take it himself, and he heads for the sideline and is out of bounds at the 35-yard line.
Just about the end of the 3rd quarter here, so we'll see if they get one more playoff when the ball gets reset. Not sure.
About 11 seconds to go in the quarter. 2nd down and 5. The ball on the 35-yard line.
Well, looks like they are going to get this play in.
There's the snap, looking to pass, and the quick pass is complete to Ribeiro, and Ribeiro up over the 40-yard line to the 41, and that will bring the 3rd quarter to a close here in Warwick, Rhode Island. So with 1 quarter to go, Hendricken leads this game against LaSalle Academy 21-7. We'll have more coming up after this.
Rhode Island's #1 online rated Volkswagen dealer is now Rhode Island's fastest growing automotive group. Introducing Speedcraft Nissan and Speedcraft Acura. Conveniently located on Route 2 just off Exit 8. It's the same great service you've come to expect, now with an even wider selection. More cars, more SUVs, and now trucks and commercial vehicles. All with the power of Speedcraft standing behind every vehicle we sell. Come in for a test drive today at any of our 3 locations or visit us online at speedcraft.com.
I'm John Rook, the voice of your Providence College Friars men's basketball team. It's that time of year again. And there's nothing like a sold-out crowd at the Dunkin' Donuts Center. One thing I've learned calling Friar basketball over the years is that anything can happen on game day. Legends have played on this court, creating memories that have lasted a lifetime. This upcoming season, it's time to make more. This is Friartown.
Well, earlier tonight, the end result of a brand new field and scoreboard here at Ferrick Field at Hayden Stadium at Bishop Hendricken High School in Warwick, Rhode Island. They did a wonderful job of putting in the new fields and the new scoreboard, all state-of-the-arts. As we bring you back to live action now in LaSalle on 1st and 10, and the handoff goes to Jake Ribeiro, and he goes around the right side after picking up about 5 yards.
You mentioned state of the art, Frank. There really aren't many places better. There's a video board that you can see that right now it's displaying, the down and the to-go, but the crew here is playing videos before the games and highlights and some of the footage of the school itself beyond just the athletics. Really just a first-class operation all the way around.
2nd down and 5, and the handoff goes to number 11, Jake Ribeiro, and he has a nice run here and picks up 1st down yardage and goes into Hendricken territory. I'll tell you what, the Hawks, Hendricken, has always been known to have some of the finest high school sports facilities in the state. In fact, 11 years ago, they were one of the first to have a new artificial playing surface, and now 11 years later, they've got a brand new surface here. 1st down and 10. And with the ball goes Leroy De Oliveira, 1,235 yards rushing last year, including 10 touchdowns. And he picks up about 5 yards.
Yeah, and that's a bigger play than you would think, because it's the first time De Oliveira has been able to get outside and get positive yardage beyond the line of scrimmage. He's a guy they want to get going. I mean, if you want to try and cut into this 14-point deficit, you're going to need everybody, and especially a 1,000-yard rusher.
Wright fakes the handoff, looking for some room, puts his head down, and is taken down at about the 27-yard line.
Yeah, enough for a 1st down, though. Keeps the sticks moving, keeps the drive alive. problem for LaSalle is they've already used the onside kick and fooled Bishop Hendricken. You're not going to fool Keith Croft's bunch twice. So they need to think about playing defense. They need to play both sides of the ball. They need to finish this drive if they want a shot at a comeback.
All right, there's the handoff to D'Oliveira, and
he lost the football.
Loose ball.
Yeah, he lost it.
Looks like Hendricken has recovered. And it's Dylan Gardner who picks up the loose ball, and Hendricken will take over here. There you see it
just
popping out.
Yep, just a great strip. The arm came around the back, and there you see, whoa, hey, look what I found, Mom. Falls on it. You know, it was just a perfect strip. D'Oliveira had it in his arm, but it was kind of stripped out. And that's a disaster for LaSalle. Great job by Hendricken. Heady play by Gardner. He falls on the football. And now if Hendricken can get that ground game going, they could abuse LaSalle a little bit. They could really put this game away. Second fumble lost by LaSalle today as well.
So Hendricken takes over here on their own 29-yard line here in the fourth quarter, leading by 14 points. Camella, the handoff goes to Sanchez. Sanchez, big yardage up over the 40-yard line and pushed out of bounds at the 42 after the first down, and some extracurricular stuff going on in the LaSalle sideline there, and a flag flies.
What did we say about managing your emotion? You don't want, it's already a 9 or a 10-yard gain, a 12-yard gain, I'm sorry. And now we're talking about a 27-yard gain if this is a personal foul against LaSalle. And it looks like they're going against Hendricken, in fact.
So that negates that nice run, and let's see what happens here at the end of the run.
So, he gets to turn the corner, and, it's over on that far sideline. There's the tackle, and there's the hit. And what does Hendricken do at the end of the play?
Something the officials didn't like.
Oh, yeah, I think it might be the old taunting there by Sanchez. Sanchez and Santana, as they were coming out of that, maybe they were barking. Said something the official didn't like. That's my presumption. That's all I could possibly think of, Frank.
All right, so back to the 18-yard line go the Hawks, and here's the quick handoff that goes to Sanchez, and he turns it upfield. And he picks up probably about 7 or 8 yards to the 27, 28-yard line.
Yeah, my guess is we're going to see a lot of running here from Bishop Hendricken, and a lot of running between the hash marks, keeping it away from the sideline, working that clock, working against that defensive line, maintaining the possession, and ultimately they want another score. Another score and this game's over, and I think Bishop Hendricken knows that.
Second down and 8 from the 26-yard line. The Hawks moving the ball on the ground. Camella fakes the handoff, takes it himself, up over the 30, deacon around to the outside and then pushed out of bounds. Be close to a first down here for the sophomore quarterback. And we'll see where the official spotted. And it looks like very close to a first down.
It's going to be close. We'll see if they measure it. It looks like now from the spot, it looks like it's going to be about a yard short. Oh, no. Nope, I'm sorry. It is good. The indication is first down without the measurement, Frank.
They're going to just eyeball it and move the stakes.
Okay. I thought it was worthy of a measurement, but hey, what do I know? That's why I'm up here and they're down there.
All right, so another first down for the Hawks. Ball now on their own 34-yard line.
Smoke and mirrors, Chris. Smoke and
Camella,
mirrors.
the handoff goes to Emmanuel, duking around right up the middle, cuts outside and taken down right at midfield. So another first down. Ethan Enos, who's been making a lot of stops for the LaSalle defense, makes another one here.
12th carry of the day from Emmanuel, and boy, that's slippery right there. Little cutback, pulled down, and that might have saved probably another 5 or 6 yards on the tackle.
Well, it's the first football game of the season on this new turf here at Hendricken's home field, and from all indications, the guys like running on it so far. Ball spotted at midfield, 1st and 10. There's the handoff, and once again it goes to Emmanuel, and he picks up about 4 yards inside of LaSalle territory and down to the 46-yard line. So they're keeping Israel Emmanuel, the junior running back, pretty busy out there as he's got his hands on his hips now. And
yeah, he's going to check out. Nicholas Camella checks in. A lot of carries for Emmanuel. That was his 13th. He's up close to 100 yards rushing.
Camella comes back in from the sideline with the play. 2nd down and 5.
Yeah, I think Bishop Hendricken needs a timeout. There's no play clock in Rhode Island, but the back judge had his hand up. They were 5 seconds away from a delay of game.
All right, we got about 8 minutes to go here in the game with Hendricken leading at 21-7. More coming up after this.
I'm John Rook, the voice of your Providence College Friars men's basketball team. It's that time of year again. And there's nothing like a sold-out crowd at the Dunkin' Donuts Center. One thing I've learned calling Friar basketball over the years is that anything can happen on game day. Legends have played on this court, creating memories that have lasted a lifetime. This upcoming season, it's time to make more. This is Friartown.
Welcome back to Game Time on YurView. Frank Carpano along with Mike Rubin here in Warwick, Rhode Island. A rivalry game, Bishop Hendricken against LaSalle. And Hendricken driving here on offense in LaSalle territory, and the handoff on 2nd down. And a pickup of about 3 yards for number 20, Nicholas Camella.
Oh, this is a big play for the LaSalle defense and the Hendricken offense. When you point to moments in the game where you're trying to put a team away, this is where Bishop Hendricken, 3rd and short, can really seal this victory if they can drive another 40-odd yards, but you got to pick up a 1st down here first.
And along the way, the clock ticks down.
Precisely.
Under 8 minutes to go here in the game, and a 14-point lead for Hendricken. 3rd down and 2, man in motion. And it's the quarterback's going to keep it, Camella, and he is not going to pick up 1st down yardage, but what a hit in the backfield.
Well, they keyed up on the guy that they thought would have the ball, but he didn't. And ouchies. That's a big hit by Alex Nuon of LaSalle. What a hit.
So 4th down now, and
big moment here for this Hendricken offense, trying to keep the chains going.
A little more than a yard to go for a 1st down.
A lot of weapons too, Frank. It'd be interesting to see which guy they go to.
Keeper
I'm guessing
here.
Emmanuel or a keeper. They're trying to draw him off.
And they call a timeout. Hendricken does. So that doesn't work, and they'll punt it away.
Well, you got to figure why not. In the first quarter alone, I think LaSalle had been flagged off sides 3 or 4 times, 9 or 10 flags overall for the game, but maintained their poise, kept their heads about them. So that's a sign of growth from Coach Marcone's squad within the balance of a single football game.
So the LaSalle defense growing a little bit here in the 2nd half, showing a little discipline and forcing Hendricken to punt here on 4th down. And here's some upcoming games coming up on Game Time on YurView on the 21st. Union at Edmond North. Following week, Burke at Omaha West. Edna Carr at McDonough on the 5th of October. And then on the 12th of October, Arizona Desert Ridge at Mountain Point.
All over the Midwest there, Oklahoma, Nebraska, Louisiana, and then I'm presuming Arizona Desert Ridge is in Arizona. Just a hunch.
Here on 4th down, the kick is away. And the ball is going to roll into the end zone, so they'll bring it out to the 20-yard line where LaSalle will take over here.
And the old attempt at the old coffin corner kick there just didn't make it.
It's wonderful how here on YurView you get a chance to see games from all over the country, as you mentioned, Oklahoma, Nebraska, Louisiana, games from those localities coming up in the weeks to come here on Game Time. Check your local listings for game times in your area. It also goes to show you, I'm reading about a game that's coming up in a few weeks in October. Where did the summer go?
Like sands of the hourglass, Frank. Sands of the hourglass.
These are the times of your... But a beautiful night for football here in Warwick, Rhode Island, in this rivalry game. The Hendricken Hawks, 7-time defending state champions against their big rival, the LaSalle Rams, who trail here by 14 points in the 4th quarter and are going to try and get something going here. 1st and 10 from their own 20. And
well, they tried the wide receiver option, and nobody opened up for Ribeiro. He was looking to heave it downfield. It was nobody got fooled. Credit this again. The Hendricken defense has done a really nice job. Their corners on man-to-man coverage, the safeties kind of coming over the top, and really denying any kind of long pass attempt of any kind.
2nd down and 12. There's a pass and incomplete. And unfortunately, Jake Ribeiro didn't reel that one in. I can't help but think that he heard footsteps coming from a member of the Hendricken defense.
Yeah, he would have been lit up. That was the old, that was a hospital pass. If you connect it, your buddy ends up in the hospital. Floated it out there a little too long. The cornerback had dropped off, and when he saw the ball start to float, he made a beeline for Ribeiro. Good coverage again by Bishop Hendricken's defense, and it's 3rd and long for this Ram offense that desperately needs 1st down yardage. He's just 8 of 17 passing, 1 of his last 6. So they want to talk it over, I think.
There's a timeout for LaSalle. And we're going to take a little break here with just under 6 minutes to go. Here in Warwick, Rhode Island, Hendricken leading LaSalle 21-7. More Game Time on YurView coming up.
Rhode Island's #1 online rated Volkswagen dealer is now Rhode Island's fastest growing automotive group. Introducing Speedcraft Nissan and Speedcraft Acura. Conveniently located on Route 2 just off Exit 8. It's the same great service you've come to expect, now with an even wider selection. More cars, more SUVs, and now trucks and commercial vehicles. All with the power of Speedcraft standing behind every vehicle we sell. Come in for a test drive today at any of our 3 locations or visit us online at speedcraft.com.
Step in here, hot pants.
The wait is over. Are y'all ready to see your fixer-upper?
Oh! You slayed it.
Whoa!
You killed it.
This is amazing.
Yes!
Fixer-upper, Tuesday night at 9, only on HGTV.
Brought to you locally by Pella. Perfectly beautiful. Testing beyond requirements with style beyond ordinary. Visit Pella.com, an Energy Star partner since 1999.
Big play here for LaSalle. Andrew Wright's calling signals. Dropping back, looking to pass. Little short pass, trying to set up the screen. And nothing doing there, although he did complete the pass to Jake Ribeiro. Unfortunately, Hendricken right there on defense stopped them. So it'll be 4th down and 12 deep in LaSalle territory. The Rams will be forced to kick it away.
Well, the Hawks really dismissing this second half surge of the Rams as nothing more but balderdash. They've done a nice job of recovering from what was a kind of a shaky start in the second half and showing some poise. You mentioned there's a defense that graduated a lot. You wouldn't know it by their play here in the fourth.
All right, then a good roll here for LaSalle as the ball rolls into Hendricken territory and then finally whistled dead inside of the 35 to about the 32-yard line. So with 5 and change to go, Hendricken takes over, and I don't think we're going to be seeing a pass anytime soon out of this Hendricken offense.
You know, we haven't seen many. We've only seen 7. 4 of them were completed and 2 of them for more than 50 yards. But no need to put the ball in the air. Unless you get to maybe a 3rd and 10, 3rd and 11 situation, and you want that first down to kill the clock. But even then, I think minutes off the clock are far more valuable as you get a look at this capacity crowd here at Furick Field at Hayden Stadium. Great crowd. And, you know, talking to the principal here, Mr. Brennan, really proud of the spirit and the energy that his students bring in support of each other. Whether it's athletics or service, like I said, both of these schools, first-class operations. For those of you who are watching from afar, they certainly exemplify the best that the Rhode Island Interscholastic League has to offer.
And very enthusiastic crowd. The kids here very early today. They came with their construction helmets and vests, and they were ready to get down to work here today. And certainly inspiring the guys who are on the sideline in this big rivalry matchup between Hendricken and LaSalle. So 2nd down and 10 here for Hendricken as they're milking this 14-point lead and running down the clock, try and wrap things up. Thomas Camella, high snap, but gets it away. And the handoff goes to Israel Emanuel's had a big day, and he is dropped back at the line of scrimmage.
And we came in really thinking this was going to be a day for Devin Rivet, and after the first quarter, he had that big gain of about 30 yards. It actually came off the score sheet because of a couple of offsetting penalties, and unfortunately, we haven't really seen a lot of him. We certainly hope he's okay, but in this day and age, you see a guy get up a little slow and shaking his head a little bit. I can't say you blame the coaches for playing it very conservatively. You got a long season and perhaps a long career beyond high school football. You play it safe.
Yeah, so much emphasis on safety in high school football in Rhode Island and across the country now because of the concussion issue. And here's a long pass that is going to be
picked off. Unless he's out of bounds. No, they're saying he got it. That's an interception.
William Leonardo reeling it in, and LaSalle will be back in business.
First pick we've seen either way. Great job tracking back, and yep, he's got the foot in.
So why are you passing the ball with a 14-point lead?
Well, I think it was
some minutes to go.
Third and long. You're trying to maybe put this game on ice. You get a first down, the game's essentially over, but maybe a little bit of a
let's see what we can do here.
Yeah, I think that's one that Camella's going to look at in the film room on Monday and say, I wish I could have that one back. And good coverage. Credit where credit is due. It was good coverage by by Leonardo downfield.
All right, so LaSalle takes over on their own 36-yard line. 1st and 10. Quick pass, almost picked off again.
Well, and that was very close. Very, very close for Mason Carr, forcing a fumble. That ball's not moving forward very much. We'll get a great look at it here from our crew. Ribeiro's dropping back, and that is just barely a forward pass.
Carr, senior, had 50 tackles last year, so a key linebacker on this Hendricken Hawks squad. 2nd down and 10 now for LaSalle. Dropping back to pass, right, and almost picked off.
Almost picked.
That falls incomplete. So LaSalle trying to pick off some yardage in big chunks here as they trail by 14 points with just over 3 minutes to play in the game.
A good coverage there by Zachary Brooks of Bishop Hendricken, almost with the interception, but as we know, almost only counts. And what is it, horseshoes and hand grenades? Not much of a horseshoer, I have to admit. Leave it to your imagination on the hand grenades.
All right, here on 3rd down, it's Wrights in traffic trying to work his way, and throws it over his shoulder and looks Looks like there was a receiver in the vicinity, so it falls incomplete.
He's very lucky. He's in the grasp and just does heave that away at the last moment. I think LaSalle's going to use a timeout and try and sort things out. And again, he was in the clutches of the defender. Ronde Almeida was right there. And you know, Frank, we talked about the humidity, and we see some players cycling on and off. We're calling a lot of Bishop Hendricken names, and you know, we have this sideline in front. You and I talked about it actually at the break. Coach Croft's been able to get a lot of guys in. It's the first time we've called Almeida's name. And when these guys come in and they're fresh, it's so very hard on the other side. At the tail end of a game, the humidity here in Rhode Island this week, it kicked up at the end of this week. You saw guys cramping up. And, you know, this is where depth in a program and talent from player 1 to player 30 or 40 for a varsity game becomes so important.
Well, I think Hendricken has probably another 10 to 15 guys on their roster to pick from. It's an all-boys school, about 1,000 boys. Much smaller enrollment of boys at LaSalle Academy, but still two very talented high school football teams, two of the best in Rhode Island. So 4th down, last call here for LaSalle, as they've got 10 yards to go to keep the drive going. Still deep in their own territory at the 35-yard line. And the official standing over the ball here.
They've got to fix the scoreboard down a few seconds. There's a difference between the clock you folks are seeing at home and the scoreboard. They're resetting it now. It appears it is accurate on the scoreboard now. So
3:08 to play. Here's Wright scrambling, throwing, and out of bounds. Wow.
Oof, a lot of traffic over there, a lot of traffic, but that could do it. You know, you had 4th and long. That was probably your last shot if you're LaSalle Academy. You're running low on timeouts. You just have the one left. So Hendricken is all but assured of taking this one home.
Good pressure on that play by Colin Watkins, as the quarterback just forced to throw off of his back foot as he just kept getting pushed deeper and deeper into LaSalle territory and heaved it over to the sideline. And a lot of traffic over there, mostly green and gold, the Hendricken defense.
Well, and Hendricken will play this conservatively. The last time they threw it downfield, it got picked off. I don't think we're seeing Camella put the ball up again. This is about running the clock off. You know LaSalle's going to use its last timeout. You got about 3 minutes left. They'll try and put this game on ice.
And there's the handoff on 1st down, and it goes to Emmanuel, and Emmanuel goes to the sideline here, trying to stay inbounds and keep that clock rolling.
Yeah, he gave it up himself, boy. You know, he knew he was going to take a beating as he went back into the heart of that defense to try and tick some more seconds off of this clock. He gained literally 9 3/4 yards. And see, LaSalle bottled up the rushing game of Bishop Hendricken a little bit more, but in the second half. But you got close to 100 yards rushing for Emmanuel, close to 100 yards rushing for Camella. Just and unable to capitalize on Bishop Hendricken's mistakes. They recovered that onside kick. It was 13-7 at the time, and when LaSalle couldn't punch that in, that really gave Hendricken second life here in the second half.
Second down and 1. Michael Rodriguez gets the call, and he picks up, let's see if he give him forward progress here. It looked like he had picked up 1st down yardage and then pushed back by the LaSalle defense.
Little subtle play designs that work so well. You're on the far hash and you run off to you're on the near hash, and you run off to the far side. When you do that and then you don't get 1st down, which is not the end of the world here if you're Bishop Hendricken, it allows the clock to keep running. The play took a long time to develop, and consequently, with 3rd and short, they'll let the play clock run well down to try and, again, they just want to put this game away.
So we're inside of a minute and a half to go, and a 14-point lead for Hendricken. And the Hawks come to the line of scrimmage again, 3rd and 1. And the handoff again goes to the fullback, Michael Rodriguez.
I don't know if he got the 1st down, and quite simply, I don't think it really matters to the Hendricken Hawks.
Now inside of a minute and 4th down. And Camella, the quarterback, is going to come over and see what the coaches think.
Yeah, it's one of those plays that by the time the clock runs down, my guess is they'll let it run all the way, maybe take a delay of game, or call the timeout if they have one left. That'll get you down to, probably about 30 seconds left. And then you snap the ball and run around with it for a few seconds, take a knee, and head on home. And Hendricken, who's been almost unbeatable here in the state of Rhode Island, is going to even out their record at 1-1, albeit with a loss against the New York State team last week. And there's the delay of game flag.
Just 12 seconds to go. They'll back them up 5 yards. And I think it's a pretty good bet that we'll see Hendricken in the Super Bowl here in Rhode Island in December in the state's highest division. And there's a good chance that LaSalle, which is a team that's putting it together here, will be a much different team come November and December. And the clock runs out, and the game is over. As the team exchanges handshakes now, and Hendricken wins this battle of the rivals. The final score tonight, Bishop Hendricken 21 and LaSalle Academy 7. We thank you for joining us on YurView. Join us next Thursday for the game of the week on YurView. Union takes on Edmond North out of Oklahoma. Coverage beginning at 6 p.m. Eastern. For Mike Rubin, I'm Frank Carpano and the entire Game Time team. Thank you and good night from Warwick, Rhode Island. Bishop Hendricken over LaSalle 21-7.
Rhode Island's #1 online rated Volkswagen dealer is now Rhode Island's fastest growing automotive group. Introducing Speedcraft Nissan and Speedcraft Acura. Conveniently located on Route 2 just off Exit 8. It's the same great service you've come to expect, now with an even wider selection. More cars, more SUVs, and now trucks and commercial vehicles. All with the power of Speedcraft standing behind every vehicle we sell. Come in for a test drive today at any of our 3 locations or visit us online at speedcraft.com.
Step in here, hot pants.
The wait is over. Are y'all ready to see your fixer-upper?
You slayed it.
Whoa!
You killed it.
This is amazing.
Yes!
Fixer-upper, Tuesday night at 9, only on HGTV.
Brought to you locally by Pella. Perfectly beautiful. Testing beyond requirements with style beyond ordinary. Visit Pella.com, an Energy Star partner since 1999.
Bishop Hendricken High School invites you to learn about our commitment to excellence.
Visit Hendricken.
In the classroom, in the arts, on the playing field.
Visit Hendricken.
Our rich tradition of Catholic education provides extraordinary opportunities for young men of intellect, character, and faith. At Bishop Hendricken, the learning environment enables all students to reach their full potential. Come to our open house. Learn about our legacy.
I'm John Rook, the voice of your Providence College Friars men's basketball team. It's that time of year again. And there's nothing like a sold-out crowd at the Dunkin' Donuts Center. One thing I've learned calling Friar basketball over the years is that anything can happen on game day. Legends have played on this court, creating memories that have lasted a lifetime. This upcoming season, it's time to make more. This is Friartown.
Adventure awaits, romance awaits, laughter awaits. With Contour from Cox, pretty much everything awaits. And you can start any of it at the push of a button. On-demand movies, your favorite shows, sports, events, you name it, we've got it. I'm Camille Ford, and I'm here to show you what's available right now. Let's kick things off with a hero we can all get behind. Captain Underpants. Come on, tons of fun awaits.
To stop an evil principal, George and Harold need a genius plan.
We'll hypnotize you.
Tra-la-la!
Captain Underpants!
Everything you know about superheroes gets thrown out the window.
Here, let me help.
Oh, boy.
DreamWorks Captain Underpants.
When you're a Bella, it's all about being a superstar. It's all about being a mom.
Family is always first.
We may be different,
Will you marry me?
but we'll always be Bellas.
Total Bellas. Brand new Wednesdays at 9. Only on E!
Also available on demand.
From coast to coast and everywhere in between.
I just broke the switch. I'm so sorry.
They're turning late night upside down.
Is that all you got? Yeah!
Can I come in there with you? Can I just...
The Late Show with Stephen Colbert.
The line moves really fast on this ride.
The Late Show with James Corden.
Come on, guys, get together!
America's choice in late night. CBS weeknights and on demand.
Every touchdown from every game, every Sunday afternoon.
Experience the ultimate upgrade for football